All right, well, welcome everybody for a Friday Night Live. I'm just waiting on Austin and Jon from Daddy's Money's Garage, aka the Junkyard Jets. I don't know where you guys are at, but here in Central Illinois, it is currently somewhat chilly, rainy, just another crappy night. Spring has not officially come. Absolutely waiting on summer to arrive. So with that, anybody out there, can you actually hear me? I'm just making sure this is working. Hey, what's going on, Nolan? How you doing, buddy? So our first guest tonight is going to be Austin and Jon. Just waiting for them to join the StreamYard. Haven't seen them yet. Okay, thank you, Frank. Hey, what's going on, Buzz from Roadkill? Just give a little update. I'll be making videos on it soon, but if you've been watching my videos, been having a little bit of struggles as far as getting the correct parts. Also, in this case, getting the right thickness head gaskets. The supply chain stuff is really getting out of hand. It does affect everything we do. Hold on, my screen's going to go black, but I'm not leaving. All right, so okay, so I just heard from Austin, and he is on his way. He's going to be coming and joining us in a minute. They're getting things set up. So yeah, as Travis said, we are skipping over spring and going into straight summer. You know what? We actually did that last year with our fall. We went from 80s to nothing real quick. Wild Rose and Nolan, I hope you start feeling pretty good and getting your strength back. Hello, Tom Cook, Dart Sports in the house. So kind of going back to my build, it's a stroker engine based off a 385 Ford. Um, Decided to go from the 429, 460 block to 521 cubes. It's been a little bit of a headache. A lot of lemons that I'm turning into lemonade. Kind of the biggest joke with that is I'm gonna have gallons of that to drink once it's done. But um, yeah, I did get head gaskets in. Wait for the video to show that. But the next headache I have, of course, this thing can't go smooth, is push rods, and there will be a video on that. Hey, Tall John, how you doing there, buddy? I also see Patrick from Mostly Old Parts and Rust is in the house. As Dart Sports says, mostly old. He's not that old, but you know what? He's got that Dick Landy car that's old, but it don't act old because it's fast. Um, so yeah, at zero, what's going on, buddy? Glad you could join. The Junkyard Jet crew will be in here in just a minute. So yeah, going back to my build, it's been just, I'm not going to call them headaches. Got to stay positive about it. Lots of learning moments. Lots of you have to really kind of dig deep and go into your whole idea of your resourcefulness. Junkers Clunkers in the house. How you doing, there, buddy? Hey, there's Ken from Tall Garage. I'm gonna take two LS cylinder heads, cut them in half, put them on a Ford 300, which is absolutely awesome. Anthony Feener, thanks for joining. Hello from the folks at Scat City Archives. He is on, I want to say it's Instagram. I see. If it's the same guy, he posts some very cool photos on Instagram of a lot of classic Chrysler stuff out there, whether it be just cool drag racing photos, street scenes of the old cars, or some of the actual archival photos that Dodge put out promotional. Just a little bit on that, Anthony. If you look at some of those photos they have of early production cars, a lot of the details on them were airbrushed in, which is kind of unique that Chrysler did that because whoever their artists were at the time, I know in today's world of CGI and Photoshop, you can make it look real, but you could really tell on some of that. Um, yeah, so just waiting on John and Austin. They're going to be joining. Ari, thanks for joining today. He says he's got me a Chrysler. Seats about 20. That's awesome. He is going to volunteer not only to cook hot dogs at the No Name Nationals, but it sounds like since he can seat 20 and gas prices are so high, he's going to pick anybody up within the United States, Canada, or South America to take them there if needed. Oh, or Ford, whatever it is. Just saying, no worries. Um, Tom Cook said 1987 was the last time I did a valve job. So yeah, I'm doing the valve stuff now. It's really quite interesting how that works, especially when you're working with a guy that has been doing it for over 40 years and is still using the same machinery they used back then. I can tell you this much: it is a learning curve. I really do enjoy it. Um, if you've seen some of the stuff I do, I really do like old school items. And when you get to work with the stuff that they used back then, I think it just kind of lends to the credence of some things just don't die and they need to be carried on, especially when it comes to machine shops. Um, there needs to be more of those guys that are talented like that. Just not hit a button, just not do one measurement, really check your work. Um, Nolan, yes, I do. And now my whole thing is push rods. So measured for push rods, and there's two specific lengths that I need in 3/8 diameter. I bought the last set of the exhaust side. Yes, the exhaust side that I could find, and I'm still kind of waiting on to see if I can find the intake side. Um, Man, they're just it's just one thing after another with this. Nothing's gone exactly 100%, but I really do enjoy it. To me, it's one of those things where if everything goes smooth, did you actually learn anything? Probably not. And if you didn't learn anything and went smooth, maybe you already knew it all. But in today's world of parts, especially when you're trying to do a combination of like a stroker engine and all that, I'm learning quite a bit that nothing just goes as planned. My bit of advice, whether it become from budget heads, have you seen in my videos, or anything, really do your homework. And if you have the capabilities or know somebody that has the capabilities, get with them. Check everything. If somebody was to tell you right now the sky was blue, please don't believe them. Go outside and look for yourself. That's kind of the advice that I'm looking at on this. It's kind of funny because um, some of the stuff that I've learned doing this build is quality. The parts that are going together while being quality, there's always going to be an adjustment that need to be made, whether it be rod side clearance, whether it be the intake manifold not matching up with the heads. That could just be the heads too. But yeah, it's just one of those things. Isn't there outfits that can make you custom length hardened 3/8 push tubes? Nolan, there is. And one of them, actually, Tall Garage, I contacted them and I'm just waiting for them to respond if they actually do have them in stock. Those were the right ones. Nolan, so going back to that, buddy, um, there's a couple reputable places in the industry. A lot of them are kind of far out time wise. And the one place that was an affordable price with a quality product, they're all off until May 16th, and they have a 4-week lead time. So whether it be not items in stock or the guys that can make them, what they're basically doing is there's so many orders they're trying to fulfill. Patrick makes a good point. All aftermarket parts require fitment. That is absolutely 1,000% true. RE, mostly old parts. There's a 63 Imperial for sale a few cities away. I got my eyes on Fort 13 and all. Now that would be a lot of fun. That's a classic car and it's an absolute boat. But I tell you what, that'd be a fun one. And 413s, it's basically an RB block that is a 440, pretty very similar actually. But the 413s are somewhat hard to find pistons for. That being said, I believe the 426 wedge was pretty much a 413 60 over. So do your homework on that. If you decide to go with the 413, I believe you can go 60 over on a virgin bore 413 block and get the 426 standard bore pistons on that. But you might want to check on that. DRC, Predator heads for the win. If I could afford them, that'd be great. But yes, thanks for joining DRC. Like I said, we're just waiting for our guest right now. Austin just sent me a text. They're getting everything set up. So yeah, it's been challenging. I'm just glad that there's some items that I've purchased way in advance with this project, instead of waiting till now. Just kind of looking forward on that. What I have coming down the pipe as far as projects, I do have a friend dropping off 383 for me, And actually, I talked to Tall John about this, and I'm going to build something very unique with it, and with a lot of the old school vintage thought behind it. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be a blast. My screen's going to go black. I'm not leaving. I just got to check something. All right. So I'm back. I do want to give a shout out. There's a guy that's watching tonight. His name is Micah. He's not part of the No Name 500 or the No Name Nationals. He's local. He's been like a brother to me for years. He's got a really cool shop. He does a lot of stuff with the Chevy trucks, John Deere tractors, and I put a picture out on my community tab of an early 90s Chevy that's getting an LS in it. Hopefully soon you can see some of that action going on. The guy really knows what he's doing. He's been building those trucks from somewhat of a lower truck to a big style monster truck and everything in between. Also very good with the Fox bodies and everything in between. He helped me do a lot of work on my dad's 68 Dart, and him and I had a opportunity for a friend of my dad's. He passed away, but his dream car was a 69 Charger RT, and he had gotten the car painted, and that was about it. Got ill. So Micah and I spent better part of a winter and spring finishing that car for him. So, like I said, he's been like a brother to me, and he has got some awesome stuff, and you'll see that hopefully here pretty soon. So yes, the Two Hacks Garage is getting into the world of LS. So if Redbeard, if you're listening, sorry about that, buddy, but it's actually going to be a really cool build. Mopar Mike, good evening. Zero, he's another good one to have on your side with this. I believe I made him a moderator. I know Ari is. Torque Racing Productions, the late night crew. Yes, it'll probably be going late. Patrick, Micah doesn't have a YouTube channel, but you will end up seeing him on my channel here pretty shortly. It's pretty cool. The guy has a pretty neat shop, and it's always full of everything. And actually, when we go in there, if you look on the walls, there's a lot of vintage like Chrysler stuff on there. Even though he is a Chevy guy, it kind of influenced him on the Chrysler side, and there's some cool stuff in there. He's just got a lot of neat stuff. Torque Racing, the LS stuff. I've always been the old school, but at the same time, the LS stuff is growing on me because I really like those cathedral port heads. Wild Rose, I have not tested out the M&H yet. My dad's car is down due to a power steering hose. And with that, I'm going to add.
Oh, what's
up,
guys?
Hey, how's it going?
It's going good. Can you hear us?
All right.
Yes.
Is there a ton of wind noise or anything? Because we got a fan on.
No, but I'm surprised you can't hear the storm going on out here now. It's raining buckets.
Oh man. Where are you at?
So yeah, I'm in Central Illinois. I'm 2 hours south of Chicago, 2 hours north of St. Louis.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
so
how's everything going?
It's not too bad. Just reaching out to you guys to kind of get to know you. I'm sure everyone's aware they've been building the Junkyard Jet.
Yeah.
Over at Uncle Tony's channel. It's been really cool. You guys came out with a new channel. Been killing it. I liked your video on the car last night.
Oh, thank you.
Those were always cool. I grew up. My father was a police officer, and that platformer car they actually just got beat on. It was pretty funny.
Oh yeah.
I'm Jeff from Two Hacks, by the way.
What's up, man?
Just doing the car building stuff, and I like to do lives and figure it out, and got a hold of Travis and got me in touch with him. So
Travis is a good dude. He's gave us a lot of good parts for the Jet, and he's just an all around good guy.
Yep. I'm going to give some shout outs here. Tom Hughes, Bryce DeCastro, Wild Rose, all those guys, Big Block 402. So with that, it's just going to kind of be an open forum. I'm sure there'll be questions that come up on here, but here's a question for you guys. I know probably everyone knows, but just not like what got you guys interested in the cars?
Well, there's a lot. There's a lot there. My uncle Gary Jennings, he used to build cars for NASCAR back in, I guess, the 70s or 80s or so. And I always heard those stories growing up, and I grew up basically in a mechanic shop. So I was always around classic cars, but I never like really learned how to do anything on cars until I got my first one. And I still really don't know much about what I'm doing. Like the Junkyard Jet is the first race car that I've even ever worked on. My 318 polyhead of my Plymouth was the first engine I ever built. So I'm not terribly experienced, but I can pretty much figure it out if I look at it long enough. I mean, John, you're pretty much like the same way.
Yeah.
I mean, I was kind of always into cars from like 2 years old, just reading about them and looking into technical stuff and just learning as much as I could about them. But I didn't actually work on anything until I got my first car. So.
Yeah. And that's pretty cool. Like I'm 43, almost 43. Always been around cars because, my dad and a lot of people around always into muscle cars. Obviously growing up, it's like, Hot Wheels, models cars and all that. And, what's nice seeing those younger people, I'm young compared to a lot of people. You guys are young compared to a lot of people, are still carrying on that tradition, whether it be experienced or inexperienced. I'm still learning a lot, like really intricate stuff. And it's been a blast with it. And I continue to do that, and I'm getting my son more engaged with it. But yeah, so that's kind of how you guys got into cars. Your channel's out. I love the name. I get it. The joke behind it is absolutely hilarious, right?
Yeah,
it is.
We actually made that channel like last August.
Oh, it was a long time ago.
It was a while ago. And it just sat dormant forever because we were working on the Jet, and all that content on the Jet is Tony's. I mean, it's taking place in his shop. We wouldn't, use the Jet for our own channel. And it will be a little bit as far as like walk-arounds and stuff, but the big stuff goes to Tony. And and that channel just sat dormant for like 8 months. And we finally started using it after we realized, oh wait, we need to get 500 for the no name.
Yep. Yeah. Because we were going to do the motorcycle channel, and then that just
it's still going to happen.
It's still happening. I spent yesterday working. I got that DR running that's been sitting for 14 years.
Yeah, I mean the whole thing about the motorcycle channel is that there's so much work to be done on the Jet that Tony's like, just work on the Jet. We'll do the motorcycle channel.
Priorities.
Yeah, and that's where I think everybody listening right now, and you guys probably learned, you're like, oh yeah, I got this, and everything takes so much time. Like I've built engines in the past, but never to this detail with an expert machinist. And like Big Block 402 says, it'd be so cool hanging out in a machine shop, learning that side. It is. And I'm showing like 2% on video because there's hours of phone calls, hours of conversations. And I'm sure you get it with Tony where it's just that knowledge they have.
Oh yeah.
And they just rattle on and explain it to you, and you're trying to soak it all in. You're like, I'm a sponge, but I can only hold so much right now.
Tony knows so much stuff that I can't even begin to process. Like, it needs to be written down is what it really needs to be. And but he's done it so much that he's just so used to it that is his thing. Like, if you're his passion. So if you're passionate about something, you're more likely to remember all of that. And that's what it is.
And it's something I'm passionate about. And like my machinist, he engine builder, drag racer for years. I mean, he held a national record in a front engine dragster. And like you ask him, well, how'd you learn this? And he'll be like, well, we didn't have no Google. We didn't have none of that shit.
Yeah.
And he's like, they figure it out. And he said he was just always a good listener. Yeah. And what he would do is like, he would be in the pits with older guys, right? He was the young guy. And something would happen and he would remember what went wrong and he would try to make it better. And Roadkill makes a good point. You guys were contenders for like 11 minutes. I think it was 12.
12?
Yeah, it didn't take very long.
I
was
probably
not expecting that.
Honestly, the rate that it grew, I was like, man, we're going to have to make like 300 or 400 videos to get anything. I don't know why everybody subscribed to us because, like I said, we're not.
It was really quick.
We're not wealths of technical knowledge or anything. We're just dudes that are doing something that we don't know how to do.
Well, it's also there is a level of intrigue. There's a level of intrigue. There's a lot of good channels out here. Like I talked to a lot of guys out here, but like Ken from Tall Garage, he's building something very unique. He's a new guy out there. He's building subs. He's going to go to the No Name Nationals. You've got Patrick from Mostly Old Parts and Rust, a very unique build, a very well-known car. Like a lot of these guys out here, Big Block 402, it's like but there's a level of intrigue because you guys are younger. You have like the Jedi master of the automotive world on a lot of stuff, the old school stuff. Ruben, here's another guy. He's got a decent sized channel, and he's taking a completely different approach, and it works very, very well for him. Like he's just showing everything,
Yeah.
and it is very cool. Nolan, he's a Canadian. He goes that way too, building something unique. So here's a question: what is the future of like your channel? Like I know there's the No Name, there's the Hot Rod Power too, but like what are you guys looking forward to doing?
I mean, like right now, what we're doing is we're making a lot of videos to show like what we have, because we have cars outside of the Jet. We have cars outside of our project cars. That, I mean, pretty much everything that we've owned, we've modified. So we
significantly so in some cases.
Yeah, like my Mercury Grand Marquis, like that video, I was getting rained on. There's a lot more that's been done to that car than what I was able to even show. So that as far as what's going to be continuing on the channel, as far the progress on the projects, maybe stuff that we do know that we know how to do, because there's stuff that I know how to do that John doesn't know how to do, and there's, I mean, honestly, a lot more stuff that John knows how to do that I don't know how to do. Like the video about the nitrous and the electricity thing, that was pretty honest. I have no, you don't want me wiring things. That's what John's for, right?
I guess. Yeah.
I have no idea how to do any of that.
I mean, 12 volt's a lot less scary than 480 volt.
Yeah.
And the nice part about it is like it's a network. Whether it be these YouTube guys, I reach out to a lot of people on here. I get a lot of good feedback on comments. Like Tom Hughes and I were going back and forth this morning on some stuff over comments. But then what ends up happening is, and Ruben makes a good point, killer community. We have that for sure. We all make it great, and it's a collective effort. And with all these different people, you can make a phone call, a text, an email to any of these guys, and you're going to find someone with the answer. You're always going to find somebody to help you out. And I think, in my opinion, that's better than the internet.
Yeah.
I mean, it's on the internet, of course, but that people perspective.
Yeah.
Actually being able to get a direct answer from somebody is awesome.
Yeah.
That's why I go to you if I need anything wired up.
It's just wires, man.
Yeah. Anyway.
So what? I was watching Uncle Tony's, and I understand the no call out thing. Completely get it. Your guys' thing. Somebody asked a question like, do you guys have a goal though for like an ET with the Jet?
I don't know if we really have a goal for an ET as much as our goal is to make it down the track at this point. Because like I said, we've never had any kind of experience building a race car. Our goal is to just get it there and get it to run, and anything that it does is going to really be impressive to us, even though it may not be impressive to anybody else. But I feel like the car is going to be quick. I don't know how quick. I'm not a good judge of how quick it's going to be, but considering what's in it, I mean, I would expect it to be pretty quick.
I'm hoping for quick. I don't know if I'm what I'm shooting for or what I think in my head I can possibly do.
The major
is going to be realistic, but
yeah,
I have no idea. It's basically just like we know around about what that platform is capable of, but not that combination or our skills. So
nice.
And the biggest variable in this whole thing, what makes it even more difficult to pull an estimation out of, is the fact that it's a stick. It's it could be the fire blazing car on the planet, and if you don't control it properly, it doesn't matter what time you're going to get.
Right,
it's going to be fun doing it, but no idea what to predict.
And being a stick shift car, I mean, you have control over that launch, which is neat. You can, at any track, and, a lot of us guys run automatics. There's a whole bunch of different stuff with either the torque converter, stall speed, or a trans brake, track conditions with tires, on and on and on. But yeah, that's really cool that you guys are going that route with it. And here's a question. So it's a specific question. What really got you into the Mopar world, though?
I was not a Mopar guy until I got my Plymouth. So, I
mean, they've heard that story, right?
Say what?
People have heard that story, right?
I don't know, but I mean, I wasn't really a Mopar guy until I got my Plymouth, and even then, I'm not completely married to Mopar. I just prefer Mopar muscle cars because they're the most logically built. I can look at it and I understand a lot of what's going on, not everything, but I just like the design of Mopar engines. I like the design of Mopar cars, and the fact that you're gonna see like 20 Chevrolets for one Mopar. That's not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah.
But I like things that are unique, and that doesn't mean that there aren't unique Chevys. But when I see a Mopar, it speaks to me differently. So that's what got me into it, is the fact that they're just not as common.
I agree.
You're not really a Mopar. You're not married to Mopar. You're not really married to anything. So
Yeah.
just the fact that the Jet's a Mopar is.
It's just something
matter.
different for me.
Yeah.
I don't have any allegiances to anybody. I've mostly owned Fords.
Yeah.
And they've pretty much all been modulars. So just run them until they blow up and then get another one.
See, I've always been into Mopars, like die hard, right? And like if you were to check out my channel, you'll see my dad's Mopar on there, but what I'm building is a Ford, and the other build for the channel is my friend's Pontiac. So I really branched out of what I consider my comfort zone with that. There's a whole backstory of why I'm doing a Ford, but you know it's kind of neat when you kind of dive into that world of something new and you see it compared to something different. It's funny you bring up the 318 Poly because my machinist, small block Chevy guy, because of the availability. And but I was at a friend of mine's place up in Rockford, just packed full of Mopars, parts, you name it, and there was a complete 318 Poly sitting there. Okay, and then next to it was one of the dual quad intakes with carburetors. It all needed to be rebuilt.
It was a Poly dual quad.
Yeah, he had a whole bunch of them.
Oh my
god!
And
this guy's been collecting. Yeah. So I didn't want to buy any of it. I got enough stuff going on. Well, here's the funny part: is I got back and I was helping my machinist doing something. And he was talking about he's going to build one more car. He's got like a street rod right now, and he wants to build like an old T-bucket type thing. But he's like, you need to find me a 318 Poly, and I'm like, I just saw one, and he's like, there's no way. I'm like, yeah. So I called up, and sure as shit, it had already sold. So I was like, man.
I've got a 318 Poly in my shed right now, but you probably don't want it.
Is it junk? Or I mean, this guy's he does all the work.
It was the original engine. That Poly had what? I ran that car for 2 years on that engine.
Yeah.
It ran for 2 years, and it had it probably made like 4 pounds of compression. I never actually tested. I didn't really care about it because I knew eventually I was going to swap it back out. And when it did run, it never left me stranded. I never had a problem out of it, and it sat since 1987. But you could count how much oil was being burned in it by how fast you were going and how far you driven. When we pulled it, there were literally stalactites coming out of the freeze plug holes. Like it was just crystal stuff coming out. I haven't broken into it yet, but I do plan to do something with it. So I'm going to see exactly just how bad that thing was.
Yeah.
But I will swear by the Polyhead's reliability. That little thing just kept going. I beat the crap out of that engine.
It did smoke like a freight train.
It was cool though.
Yeah.
It sounded bad. It realistically it sounded bad. I thought it sounded cool, but it was bad.
You know, that was a very unique motor, and I did have a conversation today because every time I go there, did you find a 318 Poly yet? Did you find a 318 Poly yet? Like, yeah, I passed like 40 of them on the way here, you know, because they're so common.
Yeah.
You know, I would, you know, but it is a cool engine, and you know, you don't really see that a whole lot. And I was at the Mopar Indy swap meet, and I swear there was just 318 Poly dual quad setups and these crazy stuff for like everywhere, and it's like that is pretty wild.
Funny story. We were at Mo Party. You weren't at Mo Party.
I didn't get to go. I was working.
Last year we were at Mo Party, and I was looking for hard to find parts for my 65, which a lot of that stuff is 1 year only. So I was looking for parts, and I saw this YN dual plane manifold, and I looked at the runners, and I was like, wait a minute, they're evenly spaced. And it's that huge. I know the intake that big. That's a poly head intake, a dual quad poly intake. Lion. And the guy wanted $400 for it, and I didn't have $400, but I should have picked it up because that intake's worth like $1,100.
Yeah.
And so like, but I should have picked it up. But then the problem would be trying to find the carburetors to fit because they got a weird footprint. So I just passed it up.
Oh yeah, it's those special weirdo.
Yeah, it's some weird old Carter. I don't know what it is. Like I said, I don't know, but they are a weird kind of footprint from what I know.
Yeah, and Ken here, he was talking about last night. We did a format kind of like this where it's kind of like a meet and greet. I had two
Mhm.
channels on last night, and we had an EFI and Turbo Talk. It,
Oh
it was
yeah.
absolutely a lot of fun, and there was two guys on here, Patrick and Ken. Both of them are great guys, and the wealth of knowledge. That's kind of like I put them on there because it's like, hey, you know what? I don't really know a whole lot about this. Let's get this discussion from two guys that do it. Like I'm gonna have another live, and I think the truck stuff is cool. Travis has got a handful of trucks, so I'm gonna find another truck guy and just let him talk.
Mm.
I really appreciate you guys doing this. It's awesome. Here's another big question. Knowing what you know now, I mean, I know you haven't ran the car. I know it's not run yet, but is there anything that you would do differently?
Well, me personally, I would have put an automatic in it,
Same.
but there was a compromise made, and because the automatic would have been just so much easier and it would have been more predictable. But I can't argue with the fact that a stick is just going to be cooler.
It is infinitely cooler.
So anything I would have done different, I feel like we've done pretty much, like we have a list, like a list that we keep in the office of stuff that we want to do. We had a wish list on Summit and like just anywhere where I could get parts. And we just recently just got everything.
Mhm.
And so we've ticked pretty much every box that I wanted to take. As far as John, what would you have done?
My part's not completely done yet.
Oh, the electrical part?
Yeah, no, I'm gonna do some stuff that's.
But in the process of like how we've built this car, is there anything you would have done differently? Maybe, maybe
I
not.
would have gotten my air hammer the first day instead of waiting like 3 weekends scraping undercoating off.
Oh yeah, that was that was atrocious. That last summer it was so hot.
We would have spent the money on tools first.
Yeah, because we didn't get power tools until like
It was already
November.
completely apart.
Yeah, so probably would have bought the power tools earlier.
Yep.
But anything with the car that you would have changed?
There's not really a whole lot that we haven't done that we'd set out to do, or that I think would be a better way to do something.
Yeah.
Because every decision we've made on the car has been discussed beforehand.
It's very committee.
Yeah.
See, that's another thing. There is always compromise, and what you kind of have to do is come to that group decision. Otherwise, things can go south really in a quick.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I see Lunar's in the house. Hello, Lunar. Shop Cat, Ari, Bryce. So I was gonna type something in there. I'm not trying to get off topic here, but if you are a truck guy, please email me at twohacksgarage@gmail.com because I do want to have live with truck enthusiasts.
Cool. Yeah.
Here's a question I have for you guys. So like.
Okay.
I've been doing a lot of this lately, cylinder head work. So what did you guys think when you started working on those cylinder heads? I remember watching the video of the grinding and all that. And like I'm sitting here going, man, am I going too far? Am I going to hit a passage? Am I going to do this? Like, what am I doing? And so what were you guys' thoughts on that? I mean, that had to have been something new,
John's the one that did it, so he's the only one that can answer.
Yeah, no, I was the one that it was. I have no idea how many hours I have into those heads.
No, we did total of it was like 15.
It was like probably 15 per.
Yeah, per head.
Yeah. I took my time with it a lot. I would have gone probably with an air grinder instead of using electric, because that way you'd be able to have variable speed control and it'd be less bulky. But there were quite a few times that I was worried about completely destroying the head.
I mean, they turned out beautiful.
They did turn out great.
Yeah.
And I did spend a lot of time with some sandpaper, making sure everything was nice and clean and smooth.
John's a perfectionist, so anything he does takes a long time. But I mean, if he does it, it's going to be done right.
I liked the your hand. Was it the battery and the board?
Yeah. That's
ingenuity.
I still have that. It's still at the shop. I've used it since then. So.
But that's ingenious. If you don't have the tool, you make it.
Yep.
You got to think outside the box. Like I had a discussion with somebody. And I was like, no, get a hammer and a wooden block. And they're like, oh, I bet you that's not in the manual. I was flipping through a 68 Ford manual, and sure as shit, there was an article and it said, grab a piece of wood. And it's like, I screenshot it and sent it to him like, ha!
I literally, we were taking the block apart, and I was like, okay, we need to figure out how to clean this off. And I need the easiest way to do it because I'm just way too lazy to do it any other way. And I was like, wait a minute, a piece of wood, something heavy, and something to strap it down and wrap the board in paper. And we just did it, and it worked. It did fine. So
I think that's awesome.
I think everybody hated that tool, but it worked.
You know what,
so
though?
I really
They
care.
hated it. Here's the thing. They
Yeah.
might have hated it, but it worked.
Yeah, I can't
And
complain that it worked.
You can't complain. And, you didn't have to spend a whole lot of money or anything doing it.
Yeah.
Here's a good question from Tom. He says, fellas, after this opportunity, do you see yourself staying with hot rodding? Like, for instance, can you imagine being like Tony at 60 years old?
Well, we were working on cars before we even did the jet. We messed with our own personal cars, and
Basically since day one.
yeah. But as far as like
Actually building race cars?
yeah, like as far as like the frequencies that we worked on our own cars, like we wouldn't have done it if we weren't on working with Tony. So we're doing it a lot more now. We learned a lot more now, and we're more comfortable doing it. So yeah, I think we'll keep up doing it.
I mean, in like the 3 or 4 months prior to actually starting on the jet, we rebuilt the suspension on my truck and Sabrina's car.
Yeah.
And what else did we do? I forget. But
We've tried to
replacing
fix
the ECU.
Yeah, we've tried to fix everything that has ever broken on our own cars.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
But as far as would we have learned as quickly as we have? No, we've learned stuff that we'll never forget.
Yeah, and that's kind of the unique part about it is, and like I don't know about you guys, but like if I fail at something, like I just absolutely shit the bed on doing something, you don't forget that,
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, I know I'm not doing that again.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just going through some of these comments. DRC Dave got it. He's got some cool cars. He's down in Florida, and I was watching I think it was a cold start video of a Challenger TA, which is one of my favorite cars. Yeah, I'm a wussy in cold weather, so I did a cold start video, and it was me starting my fireplace.
That's genius.
Yeah, I was like, I don't go outside. For one, my car doesn't start because it's on jack stands, and the engine was in pieces. And the second part about it was I don't like cold weather, and the day I did it was like -10. So, Bryce,
get that cold here.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't have done it.
Thanks for joining, Bryce. You have a good night. So, like, other than cars, because we're all talking about cars, but what else are you guys into?
Well, I work in the law field, so most of my day spent outside of working on cars is doing legal research and filling out documents. So I when I'm not working, I am thinking about cars. Like the jet has consumed my mind for the past year. So as far as what I do outside of working on cars or being at work, I mean, geez, I don't even really know. I'm usually always thinking about cars.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, we love cars.
Yeah,
and I don't know how to have fun outside of that.
It is like once you're kind of like knee deep in it, you find a way to work cars into everything.
Oh yeah,
which is cool.
My fiance will tell you I never stop talking about trying to figure out how something works or what I'm going to do to her car if she lets me borrow it.
I sent my daughter's almost 17, my son's 13, but I sent a picture of the engine because I'm almost done building it to my daughter, and she just said, "Cool."
Yeah. She at least humors me whenever I start talking about cars and stuff. So
it is fun. It is a lot of fun, and I try to get my kids involved as much as I can. Now, when I met my wife, I was a lot younger, and she always knew I was into cars. So I had a 70 Dart Swinger at the time, and she started going to events with me and all that. And as kids got older, I got out of the vehicle stuff, right? And and I got back into it. And I was like, hey, her name's Megan. I said, Megan, I'm going to get back into cars. And it was just like, really? Like, come on. And so, all the boxes showing up on the doorstep, this, that, and the other. And she's just like, just tell me we're going on vacation this year. I'm like, yep, we sure are.
Yeah.
And then don't worry, if I'm gone, it's because I'm working on cars, Right? Dust Devils in the house.
Show up. That's my favorite day of the month is when the parts show up.
Or in some cases, it's the favorite time of the hour. Oh, another box.
Yeah. I love it when they split the order and then they arrive on different days because it's like, oh, cool, I have something to look forward to. Yeah. Like our last order involved like a nitrous bottle, all the gauges, a battery box, little piddly stuff we hadn't picked up yet. But the only thing that didn't come with the main order was a speedometer, and the speedometer showed up today. And I'm like, oh, cool, I got another box to open.
Yeah.
More stickers.
And stickers. Oh, God. I have
stickers.
a file folder of Summit stickers.
I've got a ton of stickers from other channels. I'm going to try to pan it over there so I'm going the right way on one of my toolboxes.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
You know, and I got a lot more to put up. I think that's kind of one of the cool things about what we're doing with the No Name Nationals is like the whole group of people, you know, and you know, the channel stickers are cool. I love stickers. If you don't like stickers, you know, it's kind of like one of those things of, you know, what's his name? What do you call it? I'm sorry, I'm just going through some comments. What do you call that thing? Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. When the kid opens up and he's got the golden ticket. It's like when you open up a box, you're like, oh, there's a part. I got a nice shiny sticker, you know?
Yeah. I tell people constantly the part does not work unless you put the sticker on the car.
You're right.
If I were to take off like my my Mallory sticker on my Plymouth, my points would probably stop working.
They would just fry.
They just go out immediately. So just leave. The safe bet is just put the sticker on the car. Like we're putting every sticker on the car on the Jet, like because that's just how it's going to be reliable.
Speaking of stickers, I drew these up and had them made. But if anybody wants some of the Woodstock ones, just email me and I'll send them to you. I don't charge for them.
I need one of those.
2hacksgarage@gmail.com. Just email me and I'll get them sent out. I sent out a bunch. That's everything. I like artwork. I used to do a lot of artwork. So, yeah. So what do we got going on here? I'm just going through some of the chats. My computer's really slow. So UTG and John Wilburn sent a bunch of us over here. How you doing, Mopar Den?
Nice.
So yeah, we do go long. I'm not gonna like say, hey, you guys are gonna be on here for 4 hours. I want to have you on here for a while, as long as you guys feel comfortable. But if you had any car to do right now, individually, and it was all yours, what would it be?
Any car.
Anything.
Yes.
Anything.
Sky's the limit. Sky's the limit.
That is such a hard question, and usually I pick something completely underwhelming to most people.
Okay, what's yours?
If I could have any car right now.
Any car.
Any car, do whatever I want to with. The car that I'm thinking of right now, 66 Charger.
Okay.
And it's not like the I know it's not like the super, you know, body style that everybody wants, a 69, but I love the lines on that car. I would actively seek one of those out if I had the money right now. What about you?
RX-7 FD.
Yeah, I knew it. I knew you were gonna say FD.
I need another rotary.
You're gonna say FD.
I've got to have.
So that's a unique engine, the rotaries.
John has had tons of experience with a rotary. Like he's like the rotary guy.
I mean, well, I just daily drove an RX-8 for years, and it never left me down.
It was the only reliable rotary engine. I borrowed that
for a while. It was the only reliable car in our fleet.
Yeah. Side note: I borrowed that car for like 6 months one time, and I realized just the kind of pain that RX series owners have gone through, because that thing, like, 1, it gets 11 miles a gallon. 2, it can only be run on premium.
On the highway.
It can only be run on premium. It burns its own oil.
That's by design.
Yep. And you have to rev it up to like $4,000 to get it to start moving. Mm-hmm. But geez, the exhaust note that car makes is just great.
Especially when there's no muffler on it, so you can hear it from 3 miles away.
Yeah. But it's a fun car.
You know, it's funny you say about vehicles not letting you down. I live in a rural area and got a fireplace, and we always have like bonfires, and I've always split my own firewood, right? And I had bought this just, you know, it's somewhat hagged out 80s Dodge, tuned it up and all that, and this thing ran so good, right? Heater would just burn you out. A friend of mine had a small business doing masonry, needed an extra truck. I said, yeah, go ahead and borrow it. So he had it for like 6-7 months, right?
Yeah.
And I had it for a long time, sold it, and it never let me down. And the guy I sold it to still has it, and this is a long time. He still drives it. It hasn't let him down. And my friend with the business goes, you know, since that truck, I've had about 30 and they've all broken down. He's like, I need to get that truck back. I'm like, I'm trying to get it back, you know?
I've had to borrow John's cars multiple times over the years, but now I have more than one. I have 3 now, so I haven't had to borrow one in a long time, and I think he appreciates that.
I do. Yeah.
Well, now you don't have a car to let me borrow.
I don't have an extra car to let you borrow. I just got the beater with the
Well, no. No, you do. The caddy. Yeah. Can I borrow it?
Not today.
Okay. Well, anyway.
So do you have any questions for any of the viewers or anybody?
No kind of questions or anything, but if you've subscribed to us or you're thinking about subscribing to us, like I can't thank you enough.
Seriously.
Like, we didn't expect anybody to really be interested in watching us or anything because, like I said, we're not mechanics or anything. So we really appreciate it.
I'm just an idiot with a bunch of tools.
Yeah.
Well, we're all kind of that way. Like none of us are experts. I mean, there's a few. Obviously, there's experts. All right, I'll say that. But like we all have our expertises. John, it sounds like you're really, really good at wiring. I think one of the, in my opinion, it's the intrigue. You guys come from a unique channel, and you guys are learning. You're younger, carrying on the tradition, and it's not like you just started a channel and you have this 45,000 square foot brand new shop with all these Snap-on Mac tools. It's like, no, you kind of relate to everybody. You're starting off, working with somebody and working with what you have, and you're kind of going outside your comfort zone with, this build with the Junkyard Jet. But you're also looking forward, and you're also sitting here going, yeah, we do things differently, but it's a learning curve. It's an absolute learning curve.
Yeah.
And we appreciate anybody who's tolerated, seeing us do whatever it is we do.
We have some really stupid ideas in the future.
Yeah.
There's ideas now, but there'll be something later.
Yeah, and there is a lot of there's a lot of stuff that does do stupid things, but you know what? When it all comes down to it, it doesn't matter if you're 25 to 85 watching. If you got a hot rod, you're going to be a kid, and you're going to be spinning those tires, banging those gears, going yeehaw, and having a whole good time.
I did that 3 times this week for no reason.
Yeah, I had to yell at you because we weren't filming anything at the time. We just did a burnout in the poly.
It was for fun.
It looks good.
That's the one thing. I know like you've been doing a lot of stuff, with Tony's channel and all that, but now that you have your own channel, do you guys find it difficult to go, oh, hey, we need to start filming this? What kind of like format? Like, how are we going to do this? Are we going to script it? Or are we going to how are we going to edit it? Because for me, it was that way. It's like, oh, there's a camera. Shit. What do I do? Like, how do I explain this?
To be perfectly honest, every video that we've done has had to have like 10 takes.
Yep.
So, and we just go with like the best one. Cause right now, we're not like editors or anything. Like we got to figure it out, but we also want to get like good, videos out. So we're doing everything kind of one take right now. But we have a friend that is very experienced with computers who's going to be helping us out with editing. So
that'd be nice.
So once we get the introductory videos out of the way, stuff like that, we'll move on to like just other things, whatever comes our way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And what I did is, I just figured out, I asked a lot of people, a lot of them are on here. What do you use? And I just went through and just found like a program that worked for me. And I find myself like, a lot of guys on here know I just don't sleep. I just don't sleep. And it's like 2 a.m. The thought's still in my head because earlier that day I was working on it. I don't want to wait till tomorrow to edit it. So it's a lot of fun. And DRC, thanks for that. I'll swap some out to you too on that. Looks like there's a lot of comments in here. I'm reading through them. Lunar, he's got another cool channel. He does some of the, unique stuff. He's got like a 2JZ. He's got Mopars. He's got Buicks. I mean, it's just really cool.
We need a 2JZ.
I need a 2JZ. I've been looking for a Lexus GS.
Yeah, we need one.
Definitely.
I have no idea what to do with it, but it'd be fun.
Bad trees in the house, Blake. Here's a good one. And Buzz from Roadkill is 100% on this. So decals equal horsepower, and this one is 2 horsepower.
I'm chalking that up to 5.
5? We can go 5. Is that the dyno correction?
1 horsepower per word.
1 horsepower.
That's on the dyno correction. Okay.
Yeah. Dyno
we'll go with that. We'll go with that one.
Don't take it off.
I'm not. I might put 2 of them on there and try to get 10 horsepower.
Yeah.
But do you guys have plans for stickers or anything like that?
I mean, we have that, the channel logo. I literally designed that on my phone in
like
Adobe.
10 minutes.
Yeah. No, it took more than 10 minutes. I mean, I'm not technologically inclined. I'm the worst millennial ever. It took me like half an hour to make that. The first sticker or decal we might make a few for our personal cars first because we have a friend that has a Cricut and she can just like print off decals. So,
Nice.
but that would probably be the first one that I would, start putting out.
Or
Very
just,
cool.
We
Very
have
cool.
an entire book of stupid things that we have said to each other.
We do have a bunch of stupid stuff we've said.
We have
over the
so
course of
much.
the
See, that would be funny.
yeah.
That would be funny. Like
We
just
have
absolutely funny.
Yeah, we have a quote book of stuff that because me and John have been friends since what? we were 14.
Had this book going since 2011.
Yeah, so we go through get some of the ones that you wouldn't mind putting on your car.
Some of those might get you arrested for indecency, but it'll be fine.
Yeah,
That's the funny thing is the guy on my
send it to
channel.
me.
The guy on my channel, I've known him since I was like 7. I had moved out in the country to this like little small neighborhood, and I met this kid, and he was just absolutely beating the shit out of somebody. And I'm like, I got to get to know that kid, And we've gone through everything. Yeah, we've gone through everything in life. And what's kind of funny is like that we have we have never written them down, but we've said stuff that always sticks with us. Obviously, if you saw it on a shirt, you'd probably get kicked out of whatever department store you were in, but at the same time, it would make a good one.
That's all my quotes that John has saved. You can't put anything I've said on the sticker.
Yeah, definitely. Just a lot of it wouldn't fly in the South.
Yeah.
Yep. I am going to do a quick plug for everybody out here. No Name Nationals plug. Dallas Brown and John Wilburn are putting it on September 30th and October 1st, Sikeston, Missouri. Jeffers Motorsports Park. Buzz from Roadkill is sponsoring the No Name 500 class. A lot of good channels out here. I'm going to name out a few of them. Desert Mopars, Travis Mopar's Garage, Ken from Tall Garage, Bear Rose Garage. I know Mike's Hoopty Barn. There's a whole bunch of them that I missed, but there's so many good ones out here. Patrick from Mostly Old Parts and Rust. If you look through this list, guys, I'm not going through and posting them out there, but at the same time, I tell you what, just go and look at some of these channels. Subscriptions, likes, comments, shares really help these guys go. And yeah, that's my plug for that. I'm going to open it up to the rest of the guys here pretty soon. Here in about 8 minutes. I figured like the first hour with you guys would be great. Kind of get everyone to get to know you. I know they know you because you guys have been on, but you guys have your own channel now. Say Vector. Okay, Tom, I did that.
Vector.
Yes, Vector. That's probably going to screw up some YouTube algorithm, and next thing you know, the feds will be at everybody's houses.
Or everybody looking for videos of the old Vector cars will suddenly be flooding your feed.
Or corresponding points on lines.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway.
Very well could be. Unfinished project. Dart Sports the answer. Bad Tree's another no-name guy. Same with Dust Devil. He's another no-name guy. DRC Racing, another one. Bad Tree. I'll hook you up on those stickers. Dust Devil, it says, what did he say here? How close are you to only Illinois? I have no idea. I'll have to look that up. I live in a rural area. So, okay, probably the last question, and I'm going to bring in Travis, and then I'll just open up the StreamYard. But last question I have for you guys on this. It is No Name Nationals related. I know you guys aren't doing call-outs, but do you guys just, you going to be there the whole weekend, or how are you going to do that?
Yeah, we plan
As of now, that's the plan.
We plan to be there the whole weekend because the convenient thing is that John's family lives like what, an hour?
Yeah,
they're
about an hour away.
So if we don't want to pay for a hotel or anything, we'll just go stay there. And I don't know if we want to. I mean, I don't know if they want the jet brought up there. I mean, we'll leave it at the park when we leave with the keys in it. And anybody who wants it, just make sure you send videos of whatever you do to it back to us, and I'll collect the insurance money.
Awesome.
What's up, Travis?
Hey, man.
What's going on, Austin, John?
What's up, man?
So I am going to give a shout out to Travis for everybody out here. Travis got me in touch with Austin and Jon to put this together tonight. It was kind of short notice. I really appreciate you guys, doing this. It's been a blast. I'm glad that you guys were able to make it, and wish you guys much success to your channel with everything you do.
Seriously.
Get that Junkyard Jet going. Do some burnouts, and when you do the burnouts, video it, all of it.
Yeah,
Everybody
we'll
loves a good burnout video.
I've got to figure out how to fly a drone without crashing it into an avocado.
Yeah.
So
I'm pretty sure anytime that the jet goes
That
out,
actually
we're gonna
happened.
be like filming. So
do you want to know my secret on the drone?
what is it?
You don't want me flying anything technology related. So
No.
I have a 13-year-old son that is all into that, and he's going to be going on a lot of burnout trips. I can tell you that right now.
So I just got to find somebody's kid.
Dude, no.
Yeah,
we'll
find
just go to
somebody's kid.
O'Reilly's.
Okay.
Let's go to the O'Reilly's. We'll be like, here's $20. Come out and film this for us.
Open up Daddy's Money Daycare and just find the most talented kid.
No.
How many lawsuits will be flying out the door the day that thing opens?
That sounds.
Oh Lord, that just sounds bad.
I don't want to receive
Sounds
all those
horrible.
subpoenas. I don't.
There's some resurfacing
Yes.
promise.
Well, the thing is, if y'all did that, you'd have to either move to Alabama or Arkansas. It's the only place that would fly.
I like Tennessee too much, and I can't go through that much legal paperwork. I already go through enough.
Yeah.
I don't like most of the kids.
Yeah.
Little bit of my background, Austin. I know what you're talking about on the legal side. For my job, I'm in kind of the world of tech, but
Yeah.
I did a lot of tech stuff for very large lawsuits, and it was always like, oh, you're the guy that collects the data. So if you get to, when these court cases go, and they're always at a federal court in Chicago, they might subpoena you so you can explain how the data was collected, right? And they're just looking for you to slip up on something. I had to go, I don't know how many times, and sit there and never talk.
Yeah, that's usually. I remember having to subpoena witnesses just on like an accounts payable issue. So and they just literally go be like,
Wow.
they signed that. That's
Yeah.
it. But that's beside the point.
I'm going to answer a question real quick, and I'm going to throw the link into the StreamYard. Mopar Man 78. He's also a no-name channel. Check him out. Manly or Mylodon valves still good, or has the quality gone down? Haven't decided to stick with the factory 360s. My advice on that, I don't know much about the Mylodon ones, but I do know the Manly ones are actually still pretty good. My personal choice, because of the valve issues that I was going through, I am going to say go with Ferraris if you can afford them.
We use sealed power.
Yeah.
Rock Auto.
Yeah. Okay, so my machine is a perfectionist, right? And I could say the same thing, be like, oh, hey, I'm just going to find these in Rock Auto. And he just shakes his head because he's nothing wrong with any of this stuff, but he's just like, if you're going to go for horsepower and you're going to go for this, you're doing it my way. Okay, why don't you just give me my credit card and my checkbook, a kidney, and a leg?
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Welcome,
Warren.
Buzz. Buzz from Roadkill is here.
Hey guys, how's it going, man?
Hey Buzz, I wanted to say thank you for the package.
Oh, hey, my pleasure, man. My pleasure.
I was not expecting that.
Oh, good deal. That surprises are wonderful things, man.
Oh yeah.
Kind of like my live last night. Don't mix vodka and Chantix. That's my hot tip of the day. Man.
Ooh.
Whoa.
What?
You don't
La La
want
Land.
to do
Some
that.
spicy
Ooh.
headaches or what?
Oh yeah.
So yeah, but how much pudding does pudding eat?
great.
I don't understand that nickname. I know I'm fat, but that's not nearly as. It has to be more creative than that. I don't know. I don't eat pudding though, but
I got in here. I said I got in here late.
Girlfriend.
say what?
Girlfriend. What'd you say,
That's right.
Travis?
I feel sorry for your girlfriend then. Anyway,
Oh, she's-
continue.
She's
Wow. That's not what he was saying, man.
I don't understand. Oh, good lord.
Oh, good lord.
There it is.
Uh,
That's
Hey,
what I
dude,
know about
I say
Austin.
don't
He's
stop.
kind of blonde, so it works.
Yeah.
hey, Buzz. I was not a candidate for when Chantix came out. I tried it, and I had all those really bad side effects they talk about.
Yeah, it either works for you or it doesn't, and I'm right there in that doesn't camp. I got a freaking smoking habit that's older than most of these dudes watching tonight. You know what I mean?
I think I was born with a lucky strike.
Oh, I used to go through a pack of those a day.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We'll see, man. Smoking's healthier than Chantix, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. It is. I had the really bad side effects with that. You know what I'm talking about. And it was like, whoa, I can't do that.
Dude, I completely know what you're talking about. Man, I deleted that live from last night. It was so bad.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
Unbelievable.
Okay. So, Buzz, what is new?
There it goes.
Talk to us, man.
Man, just trying like the number of people reaching out, looking for help is freaking staggering. You know, because I'm taking it seriously. You know what I'm saying? If somebody reaches out, I'm taking the time. I'm studying their stuff. I'm looking at their oldest stuff. I'm looking at their newest stuff. You know, taking a look at how they've grown on their own. But, you know, most of these, you know, channel helps I'm doing, you know, I'm replying with, you know, 1,000, 1,500 words, email back to them, you know, very specific stuff they need to work on and concentrate on, to get their stuff seen. And, you know, again, for those of you that don't know, my channel, it is what it is. It's under 1,000. It's been there for 12 years. I've never focused on it because I've been busy side hustling, doing all of the things I should have been doing on my own channel for other channels. Man, I work on some big ones. I've learned a lot of stuff the hard way. You know, been playing the internet game since the early 90s. And that's why, you know, that is one of the biggest reasons I got involved with the No Name 500 when I understood what it was, you know, helping out new channels. You know, kind of in the spirit of my old man. Very nice sticker. Looky there. You know, his life, man, he found great gratitude in helping others out. And I'm kind of singing that song and dancing that dance, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Oh, I totally know what you mean on that.
Buzz, I gotta send you an email so you can critique my channel. I feel stuck.
Right on. Man, I'll do anything I can do to help you out. roadkillcustoms@gmail.com. And the magic is, do send me an email because it's something I can track. You know, when I get up in the morning, I'm a lot like Jeff, man. Sleeping is for pansies. Yeah, you know, but the email's super key because I can tag it, I can track it. It reminds me, you know, of course, of the ones I've still got to address and that kind of thing. So yeah, just to shoot me a link with your channel address in it. I mean, I've got them all, obviously, but yeah, shoot me a quick email. Let me know what your you know, questions are, your biggest questions, or make it as simple as, hey, just take a look at my stuff and let me know what your thoughts are.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out the algorithm, and it's driving me nuts because some things that I don't think would take off really good, and things I'm like, oh, this is a really good video, it should take off really good, and it just doesn't do anything.
So yeah. I know it's the best thing to keep in mind as far as the content goes is, man, just put it out there, because if you try to predict what's going to be successful, man, you'll fall on your face every single time. It's the most bizarre thing, because been there, done that, you know, across a bunch of social media channels where I think, man, this is a winner, and it's the biggest turd I've ever done, kind of thing.
Yeah,
it is.
Go ahead,
like
Jeff.
I talk to a lot of these guys. I talk to a lot of these guys, and you can never really figure out the algorithm part. And you know, but you can in a way, and it just really takes, you know, throwing stuff out there and going with it. Like my most popular video I did, besides doing burnouts in my dad's car, was literally showing my mistakes.
It is weird. Like I flew all the way down to Texas, picked up the Buick way home. That thing stalled out around 17,000. I went and spent 15 minutes at an auto auction, or call it a Mopar place. That thing went nuts. And then again, $500 went and picked up a car, and that thing went. You kind of luck of the draw.
People watch the craziest stuff.
Yeah, they do. They do. And, like, Lunar, you got that video stuff coming out, at Hemmings, and that could very easily explode, because of, people like that type of stuff. There's a magazine associated with, there's a really cool website associated. And you're walking through it. You're going to show all that stuff.
I'll be on the Great Radio here as one of the corporate members, so it'll be neat.
Right
It's
on.
going to be really cool. How's the weather going up there for you?
We had 4 days. Now it's going to either be 40 degrees or 80 degrees. So New York, fun.
Yeah.
The same here. Exact same here.
Well, it's going to be like 60 this weekend, and then come Monday, it's 90 degrees the rest of the week.
Same here.
Can't win. It's either feast or famine.
Right. But, like on the video thing, I posted a quick video of starting the D 5.0, right? Just a little 15-minute or 15-second short. In like less than 2 hours, it was almost at 2,000 views.
Nice.
It had no tags, no nothing, it just took off. I don't get it.
The Vermont title video that we did on Tony's channel, I guess, a week ago?
Yeah, this week ago.
The plates for it just arrived today. So I'm thinking that we maybe need to do a follow-up on it to show people that that
It does work.
actually works. The plates are in the other room. I've got the registration.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Yes.
That was
That'd be a
a
good one.
golden video.
Yeah, because
That was gold.
Because a lot of people mess that form up. A lot of people fill out that form in the wrong spot, and that's what we want to do: show people how to fill it out properly so that it actually goes through. That went in on the first shot. They didn't even kick it back. The plates arrived today, so we're gonna swap it out for a Tennessee title.
I'm gonna have to watch Travis.
I wish you would have made that video about 3 years ago, because I had a truck that I wish I could have kept, but it didn't have a title. So I was like, I can't do anything with it, so I sold it.
Yeah.
Here's a question I want to ask Lunar. How did you get into YouTube?
It all stemmed from, I had a car accident. A lady ran through a red light going 80, and it
Ouch.
cleaved the front end of the car off. It was I was told last year as a foreman at the family business as an electrician, so I would go from job site to job site to job site. This was my little economy getter, 2014 Toyota Corolla. That thing saved my life. Up to my shoulder, the stupid airbag. So I went down the rabbit hole trying to figure out what happens to cars after you go to or after the production stuff. So I saw making content. I'm like, well, that looks like a lot of fun. With cars, so why not?
Hey, Luna, your audio is a little sketchy, man. I'm not sure if you can do anything about it.
Is this any better?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Just have to speak up. You just have to yell. Yeah, so it was just a matter of hobby, keep myself accountable for the projects, and it's just I have that's supported it. So
That's pretty awesome. I actually got into YouTube. I did a lot of car stuff for a long time. I traveled doing car shows with Mr. Norm from Grant Spalding Dodge for about 10 years.
wow.
Got out of cars because I was raising kids, and I started helping a friend of mine on GTO, and I'm like watching stuff on YouTube, right? And I came across 2 videos because it looked like a friend of mine, and it was Uncle Tony, but I'm like, wait a minute, my friend looks like this guy. And it was 2 videos. It was the ones where he's talking about all the injuries he had, and the other one like how he earned his stripes with everything. I'm like, hey, that's really cool. And then the No Name Nationals things came up, and I'm like, I got to do this. And I realized, wow, my videos are absolute dog crap, but I got to build upon it. And then I see this community building around it, and it's like I really got to get engaged with that.
It's funny you bring up Tony's injuries. We've heard more of those stories. Oh my god! I wish I lived the life that Tony lived. I
don't think I'd survive.
One of my favorite quotes from Tony is, "I cannot count how many times I have been on fire." I love that.
It's like really funny talking about the community thing, because I think Travis is an admin on the No Name Nationals Facebook group.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
so. I found one of them
I
on
actually-
Facebook. It's basically everybody
Yeah,
trying
I actually started that group just for the No Name National, so we could all talk together.
and try and bounce ideas off each other and figure out what
Yes.
works. Yeah. No, that's awesome.
The no name's gonna be so much fun.
It's gonna be fun.
I'm more excited for that. Like we originally planned to take the Jet to Drag Week, and then the tickets sold out in like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And then, but I didn't care because like the no name's gonna be more fun than Drag Week.
Probably, yeah. Actually,
Boomer, I found you on that backhoe.
What's that?
I found you on that backhoe. Well, I'd seen a couple of your videos and stuff, but when you went and got that backhoe, that was about the time I went and got mine. I said, oh, okay, I that's when I rang your bell.
Compounding him, Lunar.
What's that? Yeah, compound. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
You don't need a supercharger when you have compound stickers.
exactly.
Right, compound stickers.
Buzz, I got a question for you, man. I know you're talking about getting back into building the cars. I was watching your live and all that. I know you are so busy promoting people. You're all over the place. If you had one car right now to do, what would you do?
1949 Studebaker 2R5 half-ton pickup truck.
I can
Awesome.
tell that you have thought about this a few
That
times.
would- that is very specific.
Yeah,
Really specific on that.
man. I want to. Yeah, I let my shop truck go for $1,000 because I had to sell it in a couple of days, literally. Short story is, man, my mom was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. Both my slacker brothers, neither one of them were willing to do anything about it. My position at the shop at that point in time was not what I wanted to be doing, man. I was taking care of customer service jive and, chasing people that wouldn't pay their invoices and that kind of crap. I wasn't building at that point. The intention was to take care of mom, get her through her last couple of years, and reopen the shop. And then, boom, COVID and that whole mess. So, I just dug deeper into what I was doing, basically the internet and social media consulting and that kind of stuff. But I've got the truck. The truck is in Kansas, Great Bend, Kansas, at Chad with nobody else's auto. He's got the truck. It's complete. And I'm going to chassis swap it. I love doing chassis swaps. Some people are anti-chassis swaps. But I'm going to put that thing on top of a Dodge Dakota RT.
Okay.
And I'm going to do the swap for $100.
Heck yeah, bud.
Basically,
That's gonna be cool.
Right on.
People keep saying, man, it's so expensive to do that shit, and you got to buy this, and do they make kits to do a chassis swap? And man, I'm telling you, I've done more if you've paid any attention to my website or looked at any of the builds there, I've done more chassis swaps than you can shake a stick at. And I am a very firm believer in, if you've got essentially a complete older vehicle and a complete donor vehicle, you've got everything you need to put those two together, including all of the metal you need to fabricate the various parts and whatnot, that's going to come up, plus about $100 in miscellaneous stuff. And I want to do it, of course, with basic tools and nothing more than a several $100 welder, a 110 MIG that essentially anybody can go out there and get. And just demonstrate that, man, it's super, super doable. The chassis swaps I enjoy doing are not I like, the donor's got to be body on frame. I've done the unibody ones. They're absolutely doable, but I'm not feeling the ones where the firewall and the dash is retained. When you look in the truck, man, I want it to look, feel, and smell like that 1949. But everything is the original steering column, the original steering wheel. But behind everything, under the hood, on the far side of the firewall, it's all connected to power steering, power booster brakes, the whole bit. But you really got to kind of look to figure out that it's been swapped.
So with that, real quick, not to interrupt, I'm going to give a shout out to Full Throttle Kind of Guy. He's got some cool cars, a really clean dart. Mopar Den, you're waiting in the background. I can only have 6 because I'm too cheap to pay for the expensive StreamYard.
Jeff,
Yeah,
I'm
we
about to jump
understand
off
that
here
completely.
because work comes early.
Okay.
So I'm going to jump off here. I'm not going to try and stay up as late as I did last night. I don't think I got off the stream until 10:30 last night.
Oh, I was.
So-
It was late for me, and I didn't go to bed. And I had to get up super early this morning. So, thanks, Travis. I appreciate it.
Yep. Buzz, I'll shoot you an email either tonight or tomorrow.
Right on.
Austin and Jon, good seeing y'all. I'm waiting
Good
for the
seeing
first
you too, man.
startup.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, we'll let
Keep
you
me
know, man.
posted on that because I want to be there.
you'll be there.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna go ahead and get Mopar Den in. One question, I
Yep.
think you guys answered it. A couple
Later,
people have asked to the
And you
Junkyard
can say
Jet.
it now, Travis. You can say
Oh
it.
yeah, that's right. Ford suck.
I mean, you're not wrong. But
Yeah.
Hey, real quick though, Barrows, go take a look at the short I posted today about the truck idling, and give me some
Sure.
feedback on what you think.
Sure,
'Cause
no problem.
It's acting really weird.
So
So, but later, guys.
As soon as I hop
Thanks,
off
Travis.
here, I'll take a
See you,
look.
man.
all right, I'm gonna add Mopar Den real quick. A couple people have asked. I think you answered it on the show last night. They were asking about Garrett.
Yeah, a lot of people would ask about Garrett.
A lot.
He hasn't gone anywhere. He's dealing with personal stuff that I purposely don't answer the question because I don't want to give away his personal stuff. Garrett hasn't gone anywhere. I was literally on the phone with him earlier today, right before I left work. So he's just dealing with some stuff. He's in the process of moving and work, but he should be at the shop Sunday.
Sweet. So we
That's the
can
plan.
just okay.
Yeah.
He actually, I told him if he had time, if he could come join us tonight, but he's dealing with some stuff right now, so he hasn't gone anywhere. But
We all go
should
through
be at the
that.
shop
Yeah.
Sunday.
Yeah,
Life
don't
happens.
We all go
worry.
through that. Life happens, and you got to deal with it. And
Sometimes he got prior obligations, but he should be back Sunday.
cool.
Yeah, we try not to
Totally
stress it too much.
understandable.
Yeah.
So,
Yep. I mean, I checked out of the car world because kids. Like cars, I love, but there's always family first, wives, girlfriends, some cases pets, whatever. You have your obligations in life. You just got to take care of it. And I know, like with the car community, those guys are for each other. So yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Mopar Den's in the house, and they're Full Throttle Kind of Guy. Yes, AHRA all the way. Dallas Brown, the CEO, the owner, the president of the AHRA. It's making a full comeback, and it is going to be an absolutely epic organization once again. So here we go. Mopar Den. How you doing, man?
How are you guys? I wanted to jump in and say hello. Hey, Austin, I was going to tell you, with all your video shoots behind Publix, you should get them as a channel sponsor, I think.
Yeah, I think I saw that comment about grocery getters, and I was like, that is the perfect comment to leave on the Mercury video.
that's basically what it became.
Yeah, I mean, it pretty much is. It started out as a grocery getter, and I kind of removed every bit of using it to get groceries.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I
it
wanted
is
to
kind
say-
of an.
Yeah, I
Go
wanted
ahead.
to say to Lunar, too, if I wasn't going up to Rhinebeck tomorrow, I'd take her right up to Lebanon Valley to see what he's doing up there. But there's another show up just up the road from me here.
I went to what was it? Mr. Dirt USA last year, and I got the dirt car bite or whatever. I was like, oh man.
Ooh.
So I'm working with the Tremont guys. Have you ever heard of them?
I have, yeah.
The what is it? The Sand Lake Slingshot. That guy was nuts back in the day. So his son is an awesome kid. Montgomery. He's right underneath Big Block. He's crazy.
Yeah, they get some characters up there, that's for sure.
Oh,
But I'll be up at the Muscle Palooza. That's the one to go to for sure.
Yep, that'll be a good time.
Muscle Palooza. Yeah, I always kind of laugh at that because, like I grew up in the grunge rock era when Lollapalooza started, right? And it started in Chicago. I'm 2 hours south, and it's just 4 days of absolute mayhem. of music, whatever. And I'm almost 43, and I still go to it, and it's always an absolute blast.
Unfortunately, last year it got rained out, but that was going to be a good day. But
Yeah.
hopefully this year it doesn't.
So with that, I'm not ending this. I'm gonna take a quick break. I gotta run inside. You guys continue talking. Open discussion. I will be right back. I think my son just got home from his first junior high dance, so I just got to go ask him a question.
Whoa!
I know. I'll be right back. You guys keep the conversation going.
Check for hickeys.
Keep it clean. I hope he kept it clean.
When you guys gave me the first spit take ever watching a YouTube video, man, that comment about the welding with an alternator.
Oh my God! Oh yeah, that was John Wilburn.
That was funny stuff, man.
Yeah, we can't be that funny, John. That was
I
laughed when he said it.
That was hilarious.
I mean, I welded that with a flux weld. That was literally the first. I welded with a stick welder before, but I've never used like
put
an
some
actual
lines on
gun.
steel.
Yeah, I could probably have done it with a stick welder a little bit better than I did with the flux welder, but but they came out like complete garbage. But you know what?
It's holding.
It's held. You know how much stuff we've launched off the trunk of that car, and those welds have held. When we get bored, we've put hot dogs on it. We put tools on it.
We did launch a beer can.
We launched a beer can.
Yeah.
We've launched anything that the tension in those springs would lift.
It's got way too much tension.
Well, the thing is, though, is that no, we need to take it and put it on the other notch that gives it more.
Oh,
yeah. Like to bend the trunk. But
Hey, sir.
Daddy's money's you guys right there.
What's up?
More than just old muscle cars. Sounds like you guys have worked on some import stuff.
Well, I actually don't own an import. John has owned imports before. Garrett, geez, he's got 5 cars.
He's probably had 30 different imports over the last 10 years.
He just finished putting together his 240. That has a funny story behind it. I'm sure that'll come up at some point.
Oh,
long story short,
Yeah.
the drive shaft fell off of it.
Going down the highway.
Yeah, and he's got a Lexus IS 300 that he dailies with highly illegal. Actually, I don't think he dailies it anymore because it's the window tint.
No, there's like a local cop that's got it out for him just because he doesn't like his car.
He tinted his windows red, and we all told him, dude, that's a horrible idea.
Yeah.
He tinted the windshield red.
But that car does have 490,000 miles on it.
Yes, it does. It's
Holy shit.
500,000 miles, and I think he's put a radiator in it.
Yeah, it
And
was
that's it.
overheating for a little bit.
Yeah,
but
Garrett messes around with the imports, and he's got the Charger. Everybody knows the Charger. And that's actually, just a preview. I told him to drive the Charger on Sundays if he's able to make it out to the shop. And John you've had one import.
I've had one import.
You had
It was
the
just the
RX-8.
RX-8.
Yeah, the RX-8.
Yeah, I bought it in 2011 and I daily drove it for 7 or 8 years.
I daily drove it for 6 months. And when I drove it, it rolled into a truck.
Somebody else's car.
Yep.
I didn't find out about that for 6 months.
No, you didn't.
Yeah.
You found out about it at dinner by accident.
Yeah, that was fun. I had to go outside.
Anyway.
The only import I've ever, my first car import, but it was a 68 Volkswagen Type 3 Fastback.
That's cool. That's cool.
I'd have one.
Yeah, I'd have one.
That was, I completely got into cars at that point in time, but I wasn't sure. I put so much bondo on that car. I wasn't sure if I was going to get into cars or if I was going to become like a sculptor artist or something.
Do you remember, John? Do you remember Jake and he had that Volkswagen thing
that never went anywhere?
It never went anywhere.
Things
the
are
floorboards are wood. The floorboards are wood, and I was like, dude, what's up with these floors? He's like, no, dude, that's how they came. I'm like, all right. So they were removable wood floorboard.
I wish we'd have been able to take that thing out at some point.
Yeah, it was neat.
Never left the garage as far as I know.
It never got driven.
By the way, Jeff, you asked earlier about cars. Man, it is in my mind one of the sexiest cars that's ever been produced is the Carmen Ghia.
Yes,
it's such a good
hands down.
If you get a dent in one of those cars, though, you are screwed.
Well, you gotta know how to fix it.
Yeah. They're like almost all one piece, aren't they?
There's
Like a first gen T-Bird.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yes.
I don't drive. You know, I'm a balls out guy. You know, I don't give a rat's ass. You know, I'm not going to not drive something hard because it might be hard to fix. I'm gonna, you know, yeah, balls out every time.
So you know, we're all talking, you know, like driving, like the, you know, balls out and stuff like that. What is, for any of you guys there, what's the most balls out thing you guys have driven?
Oh, well, that'd be my Plymouth.
Studebaker Avanti.
I worked on one of those. I
Ooh.
worked on one of those.
I would
I had
like
to change
one.
the alternator on it, and I couldn't figure it out.
I would like one.
It was a nightmare.
I was working for a guy, and he had one in his collection. And I mean, it did not. You asked about the most balls out car. That was absolutely it. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think that is the fastest production car of all time. Correct me.
63?
The Avanti,
63,
the
62.
Yeah,
The Avanti I worked on was not supercharged.
unbelievable
Everything is so, like,
automobile.
tight.
Unbelievable automobile.
What was it, like 169 miles per hour at Bonneville?
Yeah.
Or something along those
Something like
lines.
that,
See, I'm
and
not
they
a real
held
big
the record
stats
for a
guy.
long time.
Now, the fastest thing I ever driven wouldn't be fastest in a straight line, because back when I autocrossed, there was a kid had taken a CRX, those really hideous looking Hondas there, tiny,
Mhm.
and 300,
Yeah.
totally gutted with a stage 2 clutch in it. And he was like, "Hey, you want to drive it?" And I took it around the autocross trail. It was like the most uncracked, what do you call it, like a go-kart I've ever been in. The thing was just like snappy. As soon as you turned it, you're like, holy shit. But I wouldn't say it would go fast on a drag strip, but boy.
Fun factor is real high.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, actually,
Yeah.
I take back what I said. It wasn't my Plymouth. You remember the GTX?
Oh yeah, you drove.
Yeah,
the
we drove
GTX.
that. We just didn't do over like 30 in it because we were afraid
You
to
were
break
scared.
it. Like if you broke anything on that GTX, like Andy, if y'all remember from the Hemi build, Andy he's a special forces guy. You could probably have killed me with his mind. So I was like, all right, man, you gonna let me drive the car? I got in the keys. I was like, nobody's stopping me. All right. And we took it around. He let me, John, and Garrett take the Hemi down, and we did like 30,
Maybe
like
40.
Yeah,
So good.
and we got it back to the market down the street about a mile. We were heading back, and Tony and Andy were freaking out because the car hadn't been back yet. And Tony passed us in his Jeep, coming out to find us to make sure nothing happened to the GTX.
See, that's hilarious.
But that is probably the most balls out car I've ever driven, but I never did anything with because I was scared to break it.
I've never really driven anything that powerful, but I've driven stuff really fast.
All you had to do was breathe on it. Like, just let off the clutch. It'll just pull itself. It doesn't matter.
See, I don't get that. I don't get that mindset where, man, I better be careful with this. You know, if it's somebody else's ride, so be it. But I've had some nice stuff over the years, some borderline irreplaceable stuff. But once again, balls out, man. I've never understood that. You know, why have the thing if you're not going to exercise it? You know, you don't got to exercise it and be a dumb shit out there on the roads all the time, of course.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, some of those cars got big blocks for a reason. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it ain't just pulling a big trailer.
My Plymouth has a lot of very hard to find parts on it. And since it's mine, I beat the crap out of it all the time. I'm just like, whatever. I've networked enough new old stock warehouses that have these one-off parts to replace it. Let's go break it.
This
hasn't
may or
broken.
may not surprise anybody here, but hands down, the fastest car I've ever driven was a friend's Tesla Model S. That car
Oh
was
my
just,
God.
I mean, I know it's a different category, but Lord, hold on when you get into that car.
How
They're
has nobody
crazy.
said rental car yet? How has nobody said rental car?
Rental car, fastest car anywhere.
Jump a rental
I
car.
jumped a 2013 Challenger in Delaware that I rented. I jumped it and ended up on the wrong side of the highway and just pulled a UE and got to the back side or got to the other side. That's
every
the
Here's
time
a good one. What's the
rental
biggest speeding ticket that you're willing to admit to?
I've gotten one speeding ticket.
105.
105?
Talked my way out of 110 and a 55
I had
after he caught me in my garage and I was inside.
Oh man.
I had 98 reduced to 82.
Mine was 146 and a 55.
Whew.
Nice.
Yeah, I've done that on the
Good
street
numbers,
before,
man.
but I've never.
Good
I
That
didn't get
wasn't a
caught.
ticket though. That was 30 days in.
You guys are gonna laugh at me. It was a 55 and a 40, and I just talked to the cop and told him that my speedometer didn't work, and I wasn't lying; it didn't work, but I knew how fast I was going. 55 and a 40, real impressive.
No, we got a phone call. I was like dropping my girlfriend at the time off at her family's house, and her stepdad had a heart attack, so they were at a hospital 38 miles away. We made it there in 18 minutes.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that.
So it was in the RX-8. I went through the middle of the worst place in Tennessee to get a speeding ticket at 149 miles an hour.
Dude, me and Greg did like 180 in his Nissan GTR to get pizza.
Oh,
He was just like, yeah, man, we're getting to Jonathan's Pizza. It's about 20 miles away, and they close in about 30 minutes. Let's just go. We made it.
But nowadays, I'm the old man. I drive the speed limit everywhere I go.
Yeah, same.
yeah. I don't really speed a whole lot anymore. Yeah, right.
They pull you
Just
over
depends
for
what car I'm
impeding
in.
traffic now.
Well, that's kind of why I went for the Caddy.
I'm
You
right
can't
there
go
with
fast.
you, Beardos. I'm pretty chill, honestly. But you know, a lot of people got to understand what a dumb shit I was back in the day to appreciate how chilled out I am these days. You know what I mean?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Done some
I used to be
stupid,
really, really
stupid,
wild.
stupid stuff.
Yeah, I was really, really, really wild, and I'm just really cool, calm, and collective and chill now. I mean, that'll all change once I'm on the track, but you know, yeah, we all did stupid stuff and had a whole lot of fun with it. But yeah,
So, do y'all know those like stations they put up like in neighborhoods or like on the side of the road that like reads your speed and tells you if you're speeding? Like it has a speed limit sign. It like projects your speed at you. They set up one of those in my neighborhood a few years ago.
It's like 10 years ago.
Yeah, it was like 10 years ago. And it had been there for a while, and I was like, why are they leaving this here? And I was like, wait, I have another purpose for this. So I
Let's see how fast I can go.
I constructed a leaderboard and just wrote like speeds on it that I had like blown past it with. And about 3 or 4 days after I put the leaderboard up and there had been things on it, they removed it. I was kind of sad about that.
have a good night, Blake. I'll get in touch with you here in a little bit so we can talk about that. So Ken just said he got a warning once for driving too slow.
Amen,
That's
Henry.
hilarious.
What?
That's absolutely hilarious. Getting that's so where I live is rural, and there's an old highway, and there was never cops on it, right? And at the time my dad was still a police officer, and I had just left my girlfriend's house, and I'm like, oh man, I was working second shift. I'm flying home in a 70 Dart, only one like it in a small town, and this road never had cops on it, and I'm buzzing down the road. I look out the corner of my eye, and there's these grain bins, and I see a county cop, and I'm like, crap. So what I ended up doing was, I'm like, okay, I knew the corn was coming down, but I knew if I get over this hill, if the corn's still up, it curves, they're not going to see where I go. So I just nailed it, right?
Perfect.
I get over the hill, and the corn was coming down, and they saw the road I turned off of, and yeah, that was not a good one.
I've never gotten in a situation where I had to run from the cops. A lot of times they pulled me over, and I just acted stupid enough to where they felt bad for me and gave me a warning. So
That doesn't work for me.
one time
I
I got off of a ticket because the trooper came back and was like, if you can tell me how many 3s are in your license number, I'll let you go with a warning. And I memorized numbers. So I was like, yeah, there's 4. He's like, have a good day.
Wow.
Yeah, in a company vehicle.
So
I never heard that one before.
I tell you a good little
Yeah.
tip. Like my dad told me, he's like, always remember you have your driver's license on your insurance card or whatever, Dad. He's like, memorize your driver's license numbers. If you get pulled over, you don't have it, and you can recite that date of birth, everything. Most of the time, you're not going to get in trouble. And I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah. So
I've done that.
I got pulled over one time, and I did that, and the guy was like shocked, like looking at me. It's like K blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And I just got my warning.
Well, the only reason that I memorize numbers is because I didn't have a cell phone until like I was in my 20s. So like I had to memorize everybody's phone numbers. So just out of habit, I still do that.
So yeah, it's always good to memorize those numbers, and it's kind of funny that way. So for the guys that are the no name national guys out there, throw in the comments here what your goals are to do when you get out there. The only reason I'm asking that, I know it's primarily no names people, but there's a lot of people I think they're in here that are not no name national 5 or no name nationals people. The only reason I'm asking you to do that is like if you put a goal out there, I want to read it and I want to see how it relates to this group because everyone's new. A lot of people haven't drag raced. A lot of people are going there with different goals, and like I'm going there to have fun. I know the Buzz is like promoting everybody. Lunar's got a lot of cool call outs. I just want to get everyone's feel out there of what they're going for.
I don't think the Jet's leaving in one piece. I think it's leaving in multiple pieces. Like, if the engine survives, 1, I'm going to be very surprised. 2, I'm going to be kind of disappointed. So it's like a neutral. It's going to cancel out.
It is going to
Have any
cancel
of you
out.
guys drag raced before?
I've been on a drag strip twice.
Twice? Cool.
Yeah, that's it. John has never been on a drag strip. Garrett has been on at least twice because we went for the first time, I guess, last summer.
I used to drag race just prove that the engine and the car combination hold together so that it Watkins Glen and everything.
Yeah, you got some cool areas up there, Lunar. I mean, here in Illinois, a lot of stuff's closed up over the years, and that's kind of unfortunate. Or they've gone to the corporate underlords in some way where it's just a little too expensive to go.
Yeah, we have surprising here. We have Lime Rock, Watkins Glen, Lebanon Valley, which they used to race at Pink's there. We have, what is the other one there? Mole Speedway, which they're. But have a bunch.
There's another one that's in development. They had to go through a court case to get it approved, but I believe they won their last hearing. Track over in Ulster County on either side of the Hudson River from you. Supposed to go in. I believe Dallas is in talks with the fellow that bought the property. It's an old airport property.
Oh,
like
nice.
like a private airport that they converted. So I think Dallas is aware of it, but I don't know if he's going to get a sponsorship in there for their track. But I heard that that's a go, and if it doesn't get online this year, early next year.
Cool. Yeah,
Sorry, Leonard.
Back in the 60s and 70s, there's a abandoned track website. I'll see if I can find it, but we had almost 100 tracks around here.
Yeah, well, right in the county I'm in, we had just a little bit north of me. We had Dover.
Mm-hmm.
That was a pretty popular one. That one closed in '76, though.
We had the most messed up one, and that I'll promise I'll show you. But we had the Devil's Bowl, and that was a dirt track. And the worst part about it is during the summer, the lake nearby smells terrible. So that's one of the reasons why they built a dirt track there. No one cared. You couldn't smell it over the cars. So our governor, Cuomo, decided it'd be a good idea to promise they would actually build a better facility a little bit further away as long as they were an amphitheater. So they built an amphitheater with taxpayers' money, shut down the Devil's Bowl, and then no one goes there because it smells like crap during the summer. And then reneged on the deal to move the racetrack. But that's New York State politics for you.
Illinois is not much different there, Lunar. It's just the way it is, unfortunately, and I hope things change one day. So the question I threw out there, and hey, Lunar, I know what you're talking about on some smelly tracks. I could tell you about one that just smells like a sewer.
Yeah.
But Dutch guy said he's going to show the world what a Petit Volare is. That's awesome. I like that. And then you have Unfinished Project Dart Sport is always the answer. Relax, have fun, hang out, check out the cars. My favorite YouTubers. The community piece. And then you got this guy, NSB Customs. He is absolutely legit. We are going to make as many runs as possible. Got to put a whooping on Bigfoot, Betty White, and Mike Honcho, and to help anyone that needs it. So once again, it's competition, but still community. That was the point I was trying to make with that question, and I didn't even have to answer it. It's the community piece of it. It's going to be huge. It's going to be epic, and I'm glad that this is going on. Mr. Will, if he says if he makes it, my browser's a little slow. Sorry here. If it makes it to No Name Nationals, I'm going to meet all the great people in our community here and have some laughs and fun with my Charger. It's going to be an absolute blast. And, like with that, Buzz, do you have any updates for the No Name 500 people?
Let's see. Let's see John sent me the list of the latest to make it. Where the heck is it? There it is. Yeah, Daddy's Money latest to make it. Just prior to that was the Family's Garage. They made it on the 29th of April. But more importantly, guys out there like Mr. Wills, dude, you're gonna make it. Think good thoughts, man. Especially someone in your shoes. You've got all those kick-ass movie cars and whatnot. I've seen you've put up a couple of vids here and there over the week since we last talked about that on your own live. But put those movie cars out there. People will eat that stuff up. You're going to make it, brother. You are going to make it. I feel it.
Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of guys out here. There's kind of a couple different boats. People with cars that are done and not the subscribers yet, or people, the subscribers, that cars aren't done. So, it can go either way. Then there's people that have both. So, there is just this huge mixture. And this is cool. Don English. He is in every chat along with Raker. They support everybody. But look at this. Don, we're celebrating our 20th anniversary. Just happens to be No Name Nationals weekend. See y'all there. How cool is that?
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Me too. That's my anniversary and my wife's birthday.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Don's a real cool guy.
Weekend.
I met Don at Carlisle last year. His brother was there, and their friend, they all came out. It was a fun time. They're a great bunch of guys.
Yeah, I'm
Nice.
sad to make it there. But
Maybe we can get Wendy to ride shotgun when we run down the track.
BNR Racing, he's another new one that's hashtagging No Name Nationals. He's north of me. He's raced my 63 Pontiac Grand Prix 455, 520 horsepower, as many passes. Yes, please do, because we need more poncho representation. Irish Outlaw Garage. This guy is in Southern Illinois, I believe Effingham. Evening all listening while driving home from Chicago. Now you're on Cranked in the Garage. So I'm on a lot of lives. You guys know that, and you guys are a lot of too. But have you ever noticed, like, you hear people saying, I'm in a car listening? Dutch guy was broke down the other night. He's literally broke down in Amish country. The Amish came out and gave him a cinnamon bun, and he was listening to a live. And it's like,
well, what else are the Amish going to do?
Yeah.
Do they know?
It's like, that is awesome.
Two horse tow.
Yeah. I guess I could tow it.
Yeah.
I would be thankful.
Yeah, I was when I was driving for work, I was always do podcasts.
I bet that cinnamon bun was the
having
best
the
cinnamon
options
bun
to
ever.
listen to something live is fantastic. You can do that now. So I totally get it. It's great.
It is fantastic.
Yeah.
Here's a question for. Yes. Yeah, we can. Barrows, you can make anything happen. I've seen what you've done. You're working. You're working out in the snow. Just like if you want to see what like this community can throw down in the trunk. If you just look at just the eclectic, random stuff going on. Ken from Tall Garage, LS Head 300 straight six, Barrows building his build out of all kinds of parts and pieces.
You haven't seen that?
Yes, well, I'll touch on that in a minute. But Lunar's a lot of cool stuff going on with it. Buzz, he's spending a lot of time helping promote this. Yes, check him out. Ken from Tall Garage. He is literally taking 2 LS heads, cut them in half, and he's doing an LS head 300 straight 6. And
Yeah,
Lunar,
no,
if you think about that with some of the 2JZ stuff you do, just go look at that build because he's going to throw a boost at it, and it's kind of new technology and old. I think you would really like it.
I've got a 300 straight 6 in my backyard with 5,000 miles on it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Turlo's Garage. We need more Toyotas. I think the
Lunar, your
just the
audio's out.
diversity.
I think you're.
So, yeah,
you need to
I'm-
move closer to your mic.
I'm not doing a 2JZ. I'm running a 1U ZFE with a
Ooh,
pretty large supercharger.
Wow.
I approve.
That's pretty legit then. So here's my question for you. What's that car going to weigh out at?
Actually, so tomorrow I should actually be weighing it at when we get that car. So my goal is around 3,000 pounds, but we'll see. About 3,300 or with my fat butt in there.
What's
I
the
guess
factory curb on that?
What's that?
What's the factory curb on it?
So there's a lot of different people saying different things. No official real answer to it, but mine's a Target top with the turbo, which obviously that engine's gone. The all aluminum engine's in there. That could have been around 3,459 pounds.
Really?
Base model, no frills, no electric seats, which I've emulated a lot of that, as well as a non-turbo should sit out at 3,330 pounds. But you take all the crap that they still have in those because they were for Alexa, get them.
That's going to be a very interesting build if you can hook traction.
That if I burn the off, I'm going to be pretty damn slow.
Yep.
So.
I mean, still, either way, that's very unique. I'm going to say something here. Dust Devil Garage, his name's Brian. He celebrated a birthday yesterday. I'm not going to say how many years. I don't want to make anybody feel old, but he's not. But everyone just say happy birthday to Brian.
Speaking of which,
Birthday, man.
Birthday, man.
Happy birthday, Brian.
I know he pulled down the call out video, but he did call me out, and I did say I'd be pretty excited to run him.
Yep. I've got some call outs. It's going to be a lot of fun. And actually, I was going to call out the Junkyard Jets, but I know they're not accepting that. Before that, I was like, you know what? It's a cool build. I want to go head to head with them sometime, but I know you guys aren't. So that's fine. I got to get my car done first. Maybe I'll tell you what, if you guys don't get yours done or something breaks and mine's not done, we'll just get groups of people and we'll push them to the
All right, we need to find a bunch of people that are strong enough to push this car
I
as
know.
fast as possible. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's gonna break. It is
I'll
going
use a
to
tow
break.
strap in my
You
bicycle. and we'll
always
start
do
pulling
the burnout competition just to make you break it if that's your goal.
We at least
Yeah.
put all the money in the clutch and flywheel. So I mean,
Yeah.
that's gonna be a monster to actuate, but it's gonna
Yes.
handle the power of the car.
I'm gonna have to put a lot of miles on it to get it broken.
Yeah, I think we're gonna put like 1,500 miles on it before we actually take it.
And
I tell you,
But take
somebody, there's a channel, Patrick from Mostly All Parts and Rust. I think he's specifically going to be building a car for the burnout competition next year. And this guy can break
Oh.
anything. And he makes a lot of
Ooh.
power. So I'm just saying, if anybody's sitting here going, I'm going to win the burnout competition next year, might want to watch out because there's already somebody planning something now for that.
should I take the crashed Mercury?
Oh, dude, we should take the Crash Mercury and enter it and just blow it up. Because we don't care what happens. John's got a Crash Mercury Grand Marquis.
It's
And,
exactly like his,
and
but a year
the
newer.
wheel is bent in, and somehow the thing still drives.
Yeah.
And we're just it's sitting at his family farm right now, and we're planning on going up there and just thrashing the car around. Maybe we enter that.
We could do it. It would do a gnarly burnout.
You know?
I'll just take a
would
sawzall to
be.
the whole body.
Yeah, just cut the whole thing
Yeah.
off.
really,
Here's the. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I have to go and, head out, but someone else take my spot. Don't leave it empty.
Yes, and Lunar, I appreciate you coming in. Anytime when I have a live, if you want to hop in, no problem. And best of luck to you. And we got to stay away from the stinky tracks and make new ones and make sure there's a lot of people out of them.
Yep.
So,
Later, Lunar.
see you, brother.
Great seeing you, Lunar. Great seeing you.
So I will put the StreamYard back in there. I don't know if Blake was still on. He was trying to get in. Here's a question for Mopar Den. What was your first Mopar?
My first Mopar. 1981. I picked it up. It was a neighbor's car that was parked on the side of the garage for like 3 years, and it was a 68 Dart.
Nice.
Oh, awesome.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah, I love 68 darts.
It was slant six car. Nothing spectacular, but I drove around in that probably 3 or 4 years reliably, and then just sold it because I moved on to something else.
Isn't Slaghammer a 68? Or is the GT a 68? I don't know. I can't identify them.
I don't know. I don't know.
So the 67, if you look at the front fender on the bottom, the 67, there's no side marker lamp. 68, they're round, and 69, they're rectangular.
Okay, I think the GT is a 69. I know Slaghammer is older. That car, though, man, Al's made us look bad.
Oh, hey, Terry Grover's in the house. He's the cylinder head expert. I'm just going to pitch that out there.
Terry!
Oh, yeah.
So that was your first car. Buzz, what was your first, maybe not Mopar, because I know you have had everything, but what was your first one?
My first Mopar? Or my first car?
Your first awesome car. Something to play around with.
It was probably right. You mentioned earlier, first car was a 68 Type 3 Fastback, but right after that, I had a 71 El Camino. It just had a 305 in it. At that point, teenager, I was a sophomore in high school. I was one of very few kids that even had a car. But, coming out of a Volkswagen air-cooled, that whole thing, I felt like that was a real automobile, man. You know what I mean? Just the 305, but put a decent car, a little bit better carb on it, and learned a whole lot from that car. It was a rust bucket, too. I mentioned, putting so much bondo on that Volkswagen. I wasn't sure if I was going to be a car guy or a freaking sculptor. But on that 71, it was a rust bucket as well. But I learned how to do all the metal work on that, patch paneling. At that point, I was just doing gas welding with coat hangers. But got pretty darn. You can, old oxyacetylene torch and some coat hangers, man, and you can put a car back together.
That's pretty awesome.
Car after that was a 73 Porsche 914 I picked up for $1,000. Welded
Can't
the
get them for
doors
that cheap anymore.
No.
welded the doors shut, and somebody was talking earlier about a car that just handled like a go-kart. That was one of those. That thing, I put that thing into a wall big time. It is no more. I've wrecked probably just as many cars as some of these guys will have in their lifetime. Balls out, man.
Okay, so
My first.
So
Hey,
with that,
Cole.
Rich
Ears keep
220.
ringing, so I figured I better jump in here.
So yeah, okay. Now this is where I'm going to be silent because I heard someone. I think Daddy, I always want to say Junkyard Jets because that's the name I know in my head. Junkyard Jets, Daddy's Money's Garage. John and Austin, you kind of perked up when you heard about Ken and his turbo thing. So if you got questions, you better ask him now.
Talking about the 300 straight six.
Yeah, the LS one.
Okay.
So I have my first car. I still have it. I have an '89 300 straight six, and me being very ignorant to cars, I tried to make it fast, and everything that I did to it
just made it worse.
Made it unreliable.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
No, anything I did, I would change the ignition coil, and then it would go out like a week later, and I thought that for some reason that would add power. And I always wanted to put a 240 straight six head on it to boost the compression up. But I never did anything with it. But I still got I loved that engine so much because that thing had 330,000 miles on it when I
was
blew the head
340.
gasket doing donuts.
Yeah. So we went out in it was snow and ice, and I rode on the back of his truck doing donuts in the parking lot.
Yeah,
we
blew the head gasket.
And it blew up at that point. Then I went to work for the limo service shortly after that, and you crashed your bike, and we replaced the engine in the shop while you were doing physical therapy.
We got a totally brand new 300 straight six, and I'm reluctant to do anything to it because it's got like 5,000 miles on it. Because I replaced it with the Mercury. I replaced it with the Mercury like a few months later, and just the fact that anybody would take a 300 straight six and make it fast and something super interesting, like it like jolts something in my head because I love that engine. Even though when you're doing 80 in stock configuration, it's just screaming its guts out. Like that's all it's got.
Yeah, 4,000
The whole
RPM
thing
is like
will
the
go
end
for
of the world on a 300.
I never took mine up that high. Mine's got a 5-speed. I would shift it like 2,500 because I was scared of the noise it was making. Like 3,000, I was like,
I remember we first put that new engine in there, and then I took it out to drive because your leg was still in a cast.
Yeah.
And you were kind of yelling at me because I was revving up to like 3,500 RPM.
Yeah, it scared me.
It made a lot of noise.
It scared me to my core because I was like, John, it's never been revved up. I've never revved up one of these that high. I don't know what will happen. I just know that when you're at 3,000 RPM with this gear ratio, you're doing 80, and that's all it wants to do. So don't rev it up faster than that.
Didn't yours also have the granny low trans?
Yeah, mine's got the 2-speed transfer case and all that. So, like, you know, you can start it in literally overdrive if you put it in 4 low.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they're truck engines, right? They're only ever meant to do truck stuff. I however, have different plans. We're gonna go fast.
I love it.
So you're putting an LS head.
Yes.
Did you take 2 and cut 1 cylinder off and join them together?
Yep.
Okay.
That is genius.
So there's one guy like in Australia that did that a few years ago, and it was big news.
I'm gonna do that to my truck solely because it will do faster than 80.
It should.
Yeah, no, that's super cool.
Well, thank you.
I don't have the skill to do any of that.
Oh, dude, I don't have the skill either. Like, you should see the janky saw I use to cut it. Like,
have you seen how we leveled our deck on our engine?
Yeah, that's right up my alley, man.
Yeah, that's pretty much the caliber we are. But I love 300 straight sixes. I'm glad that people were doing stuff with them because they were great engines. They started in like tractors in like 1965, didn't they?
Well, I mean, there was like the smaller ones that Ford had. Like, I know my 61 Econoline has a small one in it, but they've been around forever in one form or another.
I mean, that thing ran from 1965 to 1995. That's like that's got to be like a record production.
That is a hellacious run.
It's a long run.
Like the last one was like the 9th generation F-150 had the 300 straight six, and that was.
And then they went to the 4.2, which was garbage.
I imagine because they had problems with getting repeat customers for repairs because those things don't break. I managed to kill one, and it drove home.
No, it didn't die. It just ran like crap.
Yeah. Oh well. Anyway.
Yeah, I had a friend in high school that had one of those. It was in a 2-wheel drive, I want to say F-250, and it was an older truck. And, I mean, his dad still has it on their farm. It's rusted out. It's just a farm truck, but the engine just won't die.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll run on 5 cylinders for 100,000 miles.
The video I just did on it, like, really took off. I put all the stuff Buzz told me to good use, and it just – I got like 120 subs off that video. It was great.
Right on.
Yeah, and for those of you out there, I know you already know this, but take Buzz's advice to heart. The guy can really help you out, man.
Just reach out, man. Emails on the YouTube about page, or it's roadkillcustoms@gmail.com. If you want some help with your channel, be happy to help you out. Any of you. Keep in mind, man, a shit ton of dudes have reached out. So I mean, I've got my plate full, but there's still room. If you're looking for some help, shoot me an email because that's something I can track, and I will. I'll concentrate on your stuff, and I'll tell you anything I can to help you out.
So I have a question real quick for Barrows. I know he's a monster truck. I know he's a monster truck guy. What was your coolest first car?
The coolest? Boy, that's a tough one. There's too many to choose from. The funnest one I ever had was my 77 MGB. That
Oh,
thing
yeah.
was just fun to drive. Had the little 4-cylinder in it, had dual Webers with a header on it, but other than that, that was the funnest car. I actually got pulled over in that car. That was the strangest pullover I ever got. Not because the turn signal didn't work, because it was too slow. Because of the Lucas Electric. I don't know if you guys know that.
No,
Oh,
we
yeah.
know. Oh, no.
turn signals like wait a week.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Like the fact that you even said Lucas Electrics just gave me and John PTSD flashback. So something that probably nobody knows. Have we ever said it on video? I know we
Yeah,
said
we
it on
have.
live.
Yeah.
John and I used to work for a limo shop here in Nashville, and we did work on classic Rolls Royces, Bentleys, and Jaguars, and we had an MGB.
Dude, Jaguar.
And like I'm talking like 1950s, 1960s stuff. And the owner of the place, he didn't modernize any of it. He kept it exactly as it was because he was from England. He understood these cars. He kept them running forever. And so we dealt with them in their factory configuration. And we would say Lucas Electrics is really good at keeping your lights off.
Yeah.
They positive grounds. The gauges never worked right. Even if everything was hooked up right, for some reason something just wouldn't work. And like I said before earlier, I'm not like an electrical person. John is, and he can tell you exactly just how just horrible their electrical.
I mean, I kind of pivoted
stuff
to,
that seems like it should work just never worked right. Like. But
I mean, I kind of pivoted to managing the fleet versus actually working on anything.
Yeah, that was me.
So, luckily, I didn't deal with the problems, but
yeah,
it was a whole. There was a whole lot of stuff that was learned.
Those cars went out like
they're crazy.
50s and 60s,
Yeah.
Rollses and Jaguars. All that usually went out on Saturday night. Like we would go in late to work Saturday night because the classics were going out, and then they'd spend the other 6 days of the week repairing what broke. Because they were out for 3 hours.
So here's a question. What's the craziest thing you found in a limo that returned?
Oh God.
Dude.
Was it Luke Bryan? Luke Bryan. No, Kid Rock, Luke Bryan.
We had many clients that were annoying.
We dealt with the Black Keys a lot. Kings of Leon.
Oh.
Yeah, no, it was like the most
the worst thing.
I found a really smelly $100 under the back seat in the black limo.
The silver spur or the
no, it was just the town car.
The town car.
So I take it you didn't put
that car came back with the weirdest stuff. Like it did.
Yeah, I found a couple of knives. I found
Yeah.
a bag with just piles of cash in it.
Yeah, we did. We gave it back.
Yeah, we turned that into the office because somebody's probably gonna want their hairdryer bag from the hotel with $600 in it.
Luke Bryan
Yeah.
or somebody in
There's
his
some stuff
entourage.
I can't talk about.
It's either Luke Bryan or somebody in his entourage. I imagine somebody in his entourage drinks fortified wine out of a can through a straw.
It was
Because
the
we found
Coppola
that.
sparkling wine. And
Yeah,
it was tasty.
and we don't know if it was Luke Bryan or anything.
No,
like
they
that.
requested it. It was
They-
good.
They requested. Yeah, they left some in
There was
We
one
drank
can in
them.
there, so I took it home.
Kid Rock smoked a cigar in one of our Ford Expeditions, and we had to take it out of service for 3 days and set up fans around it. Stuff happens.
There was some other stuff like
Let me
people
tell
we can't
ya.
really-
Now you guys are going to get calls from TMZ.com for all the inside.
I know.
Do you remember Axl Rose?
I was about
Do you
to
remember when
not
Axl-
mention that. Yeah. So
Axel, he would come in to check a PO box, and one time he asked us to
we
to-
thumbtacked curtains up
Curtains.
in a 1959 Bentley
Bentley,
because he didn't want to be seen, but he wanted to be taken.
but
in the
he
car.
rented the Bentley. So, you know, whatever.
Hey Ari,
I mean, he's a good dude. But
Ari,
yeah.
I'm a Kid Rock fan too. I tell you what's funny though, is like I've been at hundreds of concerts and music festivals, and I actually not my type of music, but Sean Lennon and Les Claypool. Sean Lennon is
Les
John's son, and Les Claypool, obviously from Primus. I saw them, was actually backstage with them, and ended up at a bar, and I don't drink, playing arcade games. Guys till like wee hours in the morning.
I'm just going to go back
That's
to
pretty
Lucas real
interesting.
quick. I got a quick Lucas story. I had a 77 Triumph Bonneville motorcycle that I was riding home
Yep.
on work.
Yes, please.
And I was on a parkway, and there's no lights in this parkway. And I'm riding along, and all of a sudden, every light goes out, and I'm probably at 60 miles an hour. And there's a curvy highway. I got it stopped. Thankfully, there was a car coming the other way. It lit up the road just enough so I could see where to pull over. I had a flashlight that had a bungee onto the front of it, and I went home at about 20 miles an hour at the top speed. It took me another hour and a half to get home. Never again with those Lucas electronics. I was done.
That's funny. I had a 72 Bonneville.
Yeah,
Same thing.
They were great when they worked, but oh, what a headache.
The diode right under the seat. Yep.
So you guys like motorcycles, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We've messed with motorcycles for a long time. I've ridden since
There's-
2013.
There's a cafe racer.
I was
built out of
wondering
New
what
York.
that was.
Yeah,
Oh,
it started
Is that
off.
an XS? What is that?
No, that started off as a 71 or 72 Honda CL175.
I like
man,
it.
that's cool.
That's
Yeah, I did a lot of work to it. I mean, I still got a lot more to do, but I'm actually going to bring it to the No Name Nationals to race 113 cycles.
Oh, that's
But,
gonna be cool.
I still have a lot of work to do on it, but it's like right now priority is getting that car done. But that thing was a fully functional running CL175. I rode it home, and last summer I said, I'm going to tear this thing apart because I like cafe racers, right? And, I don't know if anybody knows her or not. Vintage Monkey, Shasta Smith. She had a TV show, and I got a lot of advice from her on finding parts and where to get stuff sourced from. Because a lot of this stuff is like universal fit, and it doesn't work. So she really helped me out on finding some of that stuff. I love cafe racers.
I typically mess with Harleys. That's all I've really messed with.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Sportsters, and that's unfortunate because I'm like way too fat to ride a Sportster. But I love Sportsters.
Big
So,
man, tiny bike.
Yeah, it's great, but you could throw those around. I had an 883 2006, and like 04 to 07 is like the golden years because it's like the last years of carburation, but the first years of having a rubber engine mount, so they don't vibrate too bad. And I messed around with that 883 a lot, and I got it exactly perfect how I wanted it to look. And then like a month later, I crashed it.
It was literally like 4 days later.
No, it wasn't. It was about a month. It was about a month. I crashed it. And then I was still on crutches, and I walked into a local Harley shop, and I knew the owner. His name was Clay. I walked in. I'm like, Clay, I need another Sportster. And I bought this really big, bad 1200 that was built, and that's what I traded to get the Plymouth a few years later.
That's
So
where
what's-
I can't. No can do. No control. No control. I can get on a bike, even if it's somebody else's. I'll say to myself, be cool, be cool, be cool, be cool, be cool, be cool, be cool. And all of a sudden, man, I'm doing a gazillion.
Yeah, that's what John does.
I can't do it. I can't do it. No self-control in that respect.
So
John has an Italian bike.
It's broken.
It's broken, as they usually are.
No, I just haven't fixed it.
Exactly.
one
it's
thing-
still broken.
with the motorcycle thing, I wish I'd had YouTube because I am not kidding you. Everything about this motorcycle I did on my own, and it has been on what you would consider, except the seat, because I had a guy in Japan make that for me.
Ooh.
Everything else, no joke, has been pure budget. Like, if I would have stepped through all of like what I did and explained how little money I had in this, people would be absolutely surprised.
Yeah, I did a lot of stuff back in the day that I wish I would have recorded to put on YouTube now. Like a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I did a lot of
Well,
stuff
if
back
I-
in the day because nobody was recording it, man.
If we were
That stuff is orchestral history now.
if we recorded anything that we used to do back in the day, like what 2013, 2014, we would be banned from YouTube.
Yeah. I know the feeling.
Uh,
Oh, so Rich, when it says okay, I'm not a mod, so would I want to report or block them? I know it's kind of goofy the way that works. So if you're not, I don't understand YouTube on that, but yeah, that's all it wants to do. If you just go and search some of these channel names, I can post some of them out there. It's just my browser is really lagging. So it's funny you say that about Harleys and all that, because I don't mind Harleys at all. It's just everybody around here has them, and I like the cafe racers. They're smaller. I'm a small guy. I'm 2'3" and I weigh 72 pounds. I'm just kidding, but I just always liked them.
I like cafe bikes too. I wanted to turn his old bike into. I wanted to do something with it because it was crashed and it sat in my garage for a couple of years. But I never ended up getting around to it, and I ended up selling it off. Guy had it running and riding the next day, titled it. No big deal. But yeah, I
Well,
wanted
the
to
original Sportster was a cafe, wasn't
Are you
it?
talking about my old bike?
Mhm.
Yeah, I kind of wish.
I think the '77 Sportster they did a cafe racer. That was the
Yes, I think you're right.
black. Yeah.
I miss that old black bike. That was my favorite bike.
Willie G designed that one himself.
I did not
So
know.
was it Dad was into the Harleys, but then I moved on.
Yeah, I don't know nothing about bikes, and saying that, my parents are probably very disappointed. My dad owned like 40 Harleys at one point in his life.
He's not there.
So the fact that I don't like them
Someone
probably
else
makes
is
them mad.
my
But,
counterpart at the university.
So with that, my friend Kyle that's on the channel, it's the other hack. This guy, holy shit, motorcycle rider. Since we were little kids, if it had two wheels and an engine, it was like Dukes of Hazzarding everywhere. He's jumping everything. He's doing wheelies 50 miles long at 1,000,000 miles an hour. And I mean, I don't know how he never got killed, but he still races dirt bike stuff, kind of like the hare scrambles. But it was so funny. We didn't have any money, and there was a lot of kids when we were growing up that had money. We had this piece of shit trailer. I painted a checkerboard floor on with a Playboy bunny, and I cut out die-cut flames with these skulls, and he pulled it with an old crappy Pontiac Grand Am. He would show up to races in the high class and just smoke all these guys. And he just proved to me, like, that mindset, you don't have to have money to go fast. You don't have to have money to have that talent. I mean, holy cow, that guy was unreal.
I remember in the late '70s.
That was some of
early
my.
80s,
That was. I was just gonna say that was some of the like favorite memories of teenage years, is just watching that guy ride.
Yeah, I was going to say.
fellas,
in the
I
late
gotta be
70s
up early in the morning, so I'm gonna head out. It's good talking to all you guys, Buzz, Barrows.
Great seeing you, Ken.
So,
I'll see you guys all later.
I am going
See you,
to thank you very much. I'm going to put the link in here, guys, and I'm going to invite in Ari. Ari is a moderator, and I believe Zero is too.
Yeah.
He's a
Ari?
really cool guy. Ari, yes, and
He's a model on Tony's.
I know.
Yeah.
so you're going to get to meet Ari. Ari, when you see this link, please hop in. I know you were trying to get in just a few minutes ago, and I want to introduce everybody to Ari because you probably see him on a lot of different chats, right? And he does do a lot of moderation, and he has some cool content. So Ari, if you're out there, man, pop in, buddy. Well, I know he's out there. I see him.
He's got a stove bolt.
Yes, he does.
That's an engine that you don't see a lot of people hitting on that right now. So if anybody's out there that's got those and looking for some good content, stove bolts, you can do a lot of stuff to them. And they're usually a dime a dozen.
We need a nail head.
I've been thinking about that.
We need a nail head.
I've been thinking about that.
We gotta talk to Dallas.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's got one. Just like
You wanna hear
laying on a pallet.
You want to hear something funny, Austin, about Dallas?
Hmm.
So it's a small world. His dad was a machinist, engine builder, and he shared shops years ago with my machinist and engine builder.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because he grew up like 30 minutes, 40 minutes from where I live currently.
Oh man.
Small world, man. Like so small.
Yeah. Wow.
And there is Ari.
Hey,
What's up,
Ari!
man?
Howdy,
Finally
guys.
put a face to the name.
For real.
Wow.
Yeah, it's one of those things.
I've been hearing the name
Apologize
for
for the
almost a
face.
year now.
Great.
How do you
seeing
fi-
I was
how
born
do
with
you-
this.
How do you
What am I
find the time to do all the moderation?
I mean, geez, I used to just kind of sit on these live chats, and I would absorb a lot from them. Obviously, I learned a lot of mechanical knowledge and just little tricks and tips and combos and everything else from people. And just subsequently, I ended up asking. I think I saw John Wilburn was a moderator. I was like, "You guys need moderators? I can help. Like, I might as well do it, right?"
If I were a moderator, I'd just ban everybody on principle just for no reason.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely the desire going in for sure.
Like I don't even know Ari except for on lives, and like I always saw him as a moderator. And when I was adding moderators, it was like Ari. It's like
Yeah.
it makes perfect sense. Like and Zero and.
Zero.
It's like, if these guys are really good at it and, I really appreciate Ari, like I really do. And it's like when I put it in there, I'm like, does this guy even get notified, or like, how does that work?
No, not at all. I appreciate it, man. Like I said, I just think it's cool. I like to participate in everything, and then the spamming or just awkward people or whatever. They make it difficult sometimes for their information. What are you gonna
I
do?
can relate. I
Yeah.
know awkward people.
have you reached out to Cabral? I hear he needs a moderator.
Yeah, Cabral was a weirdo. I remember getting genuinely frustrated about that because I'm sitting there looking at Tony and Kathy, and I'm like, why is this dude like this guy's getting like aggro over this guy and his wife making videos across the country? Like, what's wrong with this person?
Dude, Brian Cabral.
Yeah,
Guys,
I love that guy. Oh, I love that
I would
guy.
kill for him to
I
actually
want-
be like that person announcing no name.
If Brian
Oh.
Cabral is watching this, I will pay for your flight
Okay.
first class to come out and announce.
I doubt he's
He's
watching
already
this,
in
but
flight.
but we're going to say Brian Cabral 100 times. And so the algorithm picks it up. But the thing is I'm not going to say who, but I know somebody that sent him like fan mail.
Yeah, I do too.
And it was returned to sender.
Yeah, I bet.
Oh.
Well, that's a disappointment.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know what though? It's like I think Tony's kind of right with some things. Like it's cool to have trolls out there because every voice, I guess, matters. But if it starts getting really weird, you're right, Ari. You're like, what in the hell? Like, what is going on here?
I'm not kidding. Today I was at work and I put Brian Cabral's videos on my playlist while I was working. Like, just to listen to it. It's so funny. It's I guess I'm the reason he keeps.
There is an entertainment value there.
Anyway.
So here's a question with that. Roadkill or Buzz, sorry, I just want to say Roadkill. Like in your industry, have you seen like just some oddball stuff?
I don't. I'm more of a developer type, so I mean I'm kind of behind the scenes more than anything else. I'm backstage instead of front stage, if you will. But I spend a lot of time, crafting filters and things of that nature to, from an automated standpoint, deal with that stuff. Similar to, not like that's rocket science or anything, but that's one of the things that trolls try to do is getting around. If you put a blocking term on something, they want to try to get around with it, replacing ease with the number 3 and that kind of stuff. So that's my exposure to that stuff. Again, developing the programs that automate dealing with trolls and that kind of thing, the unwanteds.
I kind of troll myself. There was actually a comment left on one of our videos where some guy said, "You're not UTG," and my comment was, "I disliked this video based on your comment," and I actually did.
I mean, what more can you do? You know,
I was like, all right, well, whatever. I'm just gonna do it for you. Done.
So this is Ari. Everyone's like seen stuff or like see him doing his job. Ari, tell us about your vehicles. I know you got that stove bolt, and just tell us about what you got going. I know you talk about, hey man, I was cruising there and everyone's passing me. But like I said, nobody was passing you in class because you were the only one that had class driving down that road, man.
I mean, the truck it's a 1960 Chevy Apache 10. It's a long bed, half-ton pickup. It's I don't know, man. It is an absolute anomaly. I don't know how that thing runs. My phrase is always best truck ever. I just look at it like, all right, you got me here, really? All right, cool. Yeah. But it's the 235 inline 6. It's got a 3-speed Muncie, little tiny thing behind it, and old 10-bolt rear end. And I mean, it's like a slightly higher geared tractor, pretty much. It's a beautiful truck. It's got that wraparound windshield. It's got that early 60s C10 body style, but it's got the bubble hood as well, just the kind of wonky early 60s look. I actually traded my Honda for that thing. At Zero went with me. And this guy had the truck stuffed in his garage up towards Hollywood. And he needed a more reliable car to give his sister, who was just having a kid or something like that. And I traded him this 2001 Honda Accord coupe and some cash to repair it for this truck. And
good trade.
Yeah, I mean, I feel pretty lucky there. It makes me feel like a punk sometimes driving such a cool truck. I'm like, all right, man, whatever, I got it, right?
Yeah, but that's just it, man. You got it, and like these old vehicles, like I always say, like I know people talk about car shows. Everyone's got their opinions on I consider overly restored cars. But like I look at it this way, like some of those museum pieces, they do have a place. The rat rods, they do have a place. Everything has its place. But when I see a car that's somewhat beat up, or a car that has patina, it has a story, it has a soul. Then you see something that is so pristine and restored, and the people talking about them are talking about the options, like that soul and personality is gone. So I see a guy like you driving down the road, and it's like that thing's got a million stories behind it. And now this guy is adding to all those stories. So that, to me, that's cool.
And when you look at the steering wheel and it's, got the hand-worn fade in it, it's just so cool to grab a hold of it.
Yeah.
Or just to see it in your peripheral as you're going down the road. That's just, I don't know, there's something about it.
Speaking of having patina and no options, that's pretty much your car.
Yeah.
The Caddy, it has got patina, and it has. We haven't found an option that it had. It was all standard equipment.
Yeah.
Which was, I guess, still nicer than most cars in 1962.
Oh no, that's cool.
Yeah. And it's only original once,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh,
look at that kitty cat.
I think you want.
He froze on us.
He froze
part of the channel.
Oh, no.
it's okay.
Oh, there it is.
There it is.
Cat's got your tongue.
Oh man,
I like cats with mustard.
So you and Zero know each other then?
Yeah, I've known him since I was really young. Actually, I remember seeing his '68 Dart walking on the way to the liquor store. And, him polishing that up, and just how weird the Slant 6 looked the first time I saw it. I was like, "What is that?" Because any classic car I'd seen had a V8 in it, really. And yeah, I've known him since I was, we're brothers. I've known him since I was 14, 15 years old, younger than that, maybe.
That's pretty neat though, man. Like I remember like the first, like if you want to call it classic car that I really saw that was like, oh man, I need to really get to know that. Probably when I was pretty young, and I used to always see this guy that lived catty corner from my grandpa, and it was all Ford flathead stuff. And he always had old Ford trucks, and I never really got into him as far as like the man, I want one of those. But watching him, he had like a machine shop in his garage, and just watching him build all that stuff was neat. And Ken, he's not in here, but he did have a bunch of original Arden stuff in there because he had been doing it so long. That was kind of my hook. And then hearing all the street racing my dad did back in the day with all his friends, and it's like, man, I got to do that.
Guys, I'm going to jump on out of here. It's coming up on midnight, and we got a car show to get to in the morning. So I'm going to get some shut-eye. It was nice seeing everybody. Nice meeting everybody here. Haven't seen before, spoke to. And
nice meeting you too, man.
Hope to do it again.
Yes, thank you very much for hopping on, and have a good day at your car show tomorrow, man.
All right, brother.
Okay, thanks. Good night, all.
Good night. I'm just going through the chat here.
Too.
Okay. Yeah, it is getting late. I'm gonna probably shut this down in about 5 minutes. I have to get up super early and go watch my son, who's probably the smallest kid in track, just absolutely fly by everybody.
Hold on, I'll be right back.
Right on.
Okay.
And Austin and John, great job, guys. Really great job.
Thank you, man.
Yeah,
Thanks, man.
great
We
to see
really
everything
appreciate
come
it.
together. The
Really
car
happy
looks
to see
good.
you guys do this.
Yeah, well,
looking
now
forward to
that
seeing
it's a
what the channel
roller,
brings.
I think things will start going together a lot faster now that it's like
Here's
on
hoping.
wheels and like we're more motivated seeing the progress ourselves.
They will. It'll be a lot of fun. It'll be a lot of fun. And
When you guys first started, you know, I was kind of the old man on the porch, you know, yelling at the kids. I admit it.
It's totally
But, man,
understandable.
You've changed my whole perspective, man.
I'm
You guys
glad.
are doing great. Thanks.
I
Thank you
appreciate
so
that,
much,
seriously.
man. I'll be
Barrows,
With that,
Yeah.
real quick, Barrows.
back.
I know it's been hard for you and I to contact each other, but I do need to call you at some point this weekend about motor mounts.
sure.
So
I'll tell
really
you all
appreciate
kinds of
it.
lies. I might want to
All
race
right.
you sometime.
yeah. I'm gonna race this guy, and I just told him something that's gonna make him break.
Sure, anytime, man. You got my number.
Yep.
Anytime.
Awesome. Thanks, Kim.
All right. We'll see y'all at. We're gonna see y'all in Zykeston, but we'll catch you later.
Later,
Keep
Kim. Be
your
good,
metal
bro.
hot.
See you, man.
Now, where's that button?
Yeah. Kim's a really nice guy. Like, he was actually the first video for the No Name Nationals. Another no name, another channel's out here, Shopcat. This guy can pretty much do anything. BNR Racing, huge into street racing. The guy's very knowledgeable on stuff. Him and I talk about some different things. I'm just trying to catch up on some chats. Raker, he is a guy that's extremely supportive in the community. I know he's got an old 65. I need to see that one day. Here's a good one. So this is pretty good here. Dutch guy, he's got a lot of the cool Valaris and Aspens. He's going to be at the No Name Nationals. My grandpa's story of racing with Sox and Martin hooked me at a young age. Now, how cool is that? Sox and Martin, racing with them. That's the type of stuff that is priceless. Out of Order Garage, if Zero, if you can link that, please. That's another good one. No, I mean, it's been a fun night. I would love to stay on till about 3 o'clock in the morning. I have not slept this. I have not slept this week at all. I do got to get up early. I'm gonna real quick. I'm gonna thank Ari for everything and at Zero for everything. Absolutely appreciate it. Anybody on this chat is more than welcome to come in, chat. The next one I want to do is I do want to get truck guys out there. So anybody that's got a truck going to the No Name Nationals, or not even going to the No Name Nationals, hit me up. We'll put a live together to talk trucks. Last night I did Turbo Talk with Ken and Patrick. Tonight was the the Junkyard Jets, Daddy's Money's Garage, and I'm going to leave this last couple minutes, a couple words from Buzz, and then we're going to end it with the Junkyard Jets.
Man, last couple of words I got is just keep on trucking, all of you. Man, you guys that are still under 500, there's quite a few that are out there that are just about there, but don't stop now. Don't quit now. Keep on trucking. Keep putting the content out there. Do your best. This too will happen. Mr. Wills, you're gonna make it, brother. You're gonna make it. I promise you. One way or another, but also keep participating. It's one of the other great ways. You know, if YouTube search isn't showing you any love, get involved in these various lives and participate. Make comments. People will see your channel. They'll recognize you. And don't be bashful to ask somebody for a subscribe and a like, you know.
Yeah, and that's good advice. Don't give up. Make the content. I do want to shout out 66 Salvage Restoration Speed Shop. He is not far from me. He's got a channel, but he's also got a big Instagram following. I've been talking back and forth with him. If you guys have seen him, I do some graphics on my Thunderbird. I talked to him a lot about it. I'm not there yet just because of scheduling, but go check this guy out too. He does a lot of neat stuff. He's also a guy that has a big kind of that grasp in the history of it, just like we all do. So another very supportive guy in the community. So with that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hand it off to our special guests tonight, John and Austin. Last words. We want that quote that's just going to all send us into a great night's sleep and make our weekends that much better.
Well, I guess the best way, if we were sending it off, would be just thank you guys for the outpour of support.
For real.
We're excited and very thankful that people are subscribing, and we hope that we continue to be entertaining. And like I said, if you're trying to get the subscriber for the no name, we are willing to help out as well. And anything that we can possibly do, because there are people that deserve it much more than we do.
For real.
And
there are guys been on here forever.
Yeah. And just I stammer because I can't find the words to really convey how thankful I am, and John as well. So thank y'all so much. And thanks for having us on, Jeff. It was a lot of fun.
And thank you. And I know Travis probably went to bed because he's got early, and I do want to shout out Mopar from Travis's Garage. I appreciate, giving me opportunity to have you guys on here. I reached out to Buzz and said, hey, these guys are going to be on. A lot of people shared it. And it's been a very good evening. I'm trying to catch up with some chats and all that. My browser is like super slow tonight. I mean, I got a piece of shit laptop. I'm not gonna lie. I spend more money on haircuts than I do on a laptop, if that tells you anything.
I've had this laptop since 2011.
Oh wow. Well, see, Austin, my whole thing is I work on a laptop all day long because of work. Like, I am checked out of like technology. And like, I don't even watch TV. I watch everything on YouTube. I'd rather watch you guys build a car. I'd rather watch Buzz give advice. I'd rather watch Ari on his truck videos. Anybody, I'd rather watch that because they're real people. It's a real community. The background stories are funny when you hear them because it's real. And there's not a crew coming in and going, let's hurry up and finish these guys' car while they're sipping on a martini, eating caviar. No, we're eating hot dogs. You guys drink beer. I don't drink beer. I drink water, tea, lemonade, Monsters, whatever needs to keep me up the rest of the night to make a video, paint something, whatever.
Yeah.
So another good guy, I see Buck. He's another good one. Go check him out. Turlo's Garage, Rich 220. Joe, thank you. Another guy that's very supportive. Zero, Ari, thank you. Go check out Mr. Will, Rogue Squad Garage, another good one out there. So with that, guys, I really appreciate it. Wish you guys the best of luck. The best resources are sitting right in front of you. It's this community. It's Buzz. We're going to see everybody in Sykeston. And my last word of advice on this is, if you're going to do something, do it right the first time. If not, you're going to be frustrated like me, sitting there waiting on parts. With that, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. You all have a good night, and thank you very much.
Good night, all.
Good night.
Have a good one.